Hello and happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome to America's Day at the Races and a live look at Aqueduct Racetrack here in South Ozone Park, New York. On a good and sealed surface, race 7 approaching the 9-minute mark to post. We have back-to-back stakes coming up out of Tampa Bay Downs, including last year's runner-up in the Kentucky Oaks. We'll get to that in a moment. Greg Wolf, Andy Serling, good to see you.
Good to see you as well. I see we just sealed the track. Was not sealed prior to this race. It just started raining. And, you know, for those who were watching yesterday or not watching, we had a very severe dead rail on the main track yesterday, and it's continued today as well. Maybe not as acute, but pretty bad. I wonder if the rain and sealing it could change that. Hard to know.
7th at Aqueduct, 50,000 claiming non-winners at 2 life, 1 turn mile. That's what's up next here in New York. Gasparilla next at Tampa Bay. Here's what's ahead, presented by Claiborne Farm. Fast and Firm at Tampa. We have Maggie Wolfendale live on site. We'll get to her momentarily. And not a surprise, Tessellite for Saffie Joseph Jr. out of Tampa in that Gasparilla has now dropped to odds-on short price off that dominating stakes win at Gulfstream back on November the 15th. Let's head there now, and there she is. Tessellite, just a breakout performance in her last start.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is always that question. You and I like to talk about these one-number horses, right? When you see a young horse especially, and not that she hadn't shown some talent, but that performance was a significant move up. If she runs close to it, she's going to win.
Well, is she going to be able to back up that performance? Yeah, and we'll see if she can, in fact, do it again. Let's bring in Maggie Wolfendale, Tessellite. Maggie, how does she look?
She looks sensational, much like the horse to beat in here, Greg. Yes, she blew out that field. Question mark on who she beat there. She does face maybe slightly tougher company, but from the looks department, she looks as she should be, the favorite. Now, Saffie Joseph will also send out number 2 in here, Love Like Lucy, who does pick up Daniel Centeno here, and she's been facing Mythical, whom we actually saw in Saratoga, a greatest stakes winner. She's 5 for 6 in her career. But looking at Love Like Lucy, I love this turn back for a filly that, albeit hasn't run quite as fast as her stablemate, but she's a more stout, compact, and I get taking advantage of those Florida bred races, but I think the 7 furlongs could be perfect for her. Definitely looking the part as well. As we'll take a look at recent maiden breaker in number 4, Lightscape, who steps up here, beating a field of 10 other foes last time out. She did take a lot of money for Tom Proctor, who's having a fantastic meet so far. Second place finisher, came back to win. She's an impressive looking daughter of Practical Joke and looking a lot like her sire. So I think that the 7 furlongs, because she was gaining and picking up momentum through the stretch, that this will be perfect for her. She was pretty sharp and edgy back in the paddock, has since settled down on the track. The other horse in here that caught my eye, looks pretty darn slow on paper, but Lady Valor, very classy acting here from Michael Campbell, and I just thought she looked great in her flesh. Maybe a long shot to throw in, Greg.
Thank you, Maggie. 3 to 5. Tessellite, and there the upside filly Lightscape making just her second start. Heading to FS2 right now. Welcome to those just joining us on Fox Sports 2. You're watching America's Day at the Races. Greg Wolf, New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling, as we get set for stakes action right off the bat out of Tampa Bay.
Yes, where the number 3 Tessellite is a justifiable heavy favorite off a huge performance in her last race down at Gulfstream Park. The horse who's second choice, the horse outside of her, Lightscape's going to have to get faster, but she's 1 for 1, breaking her maiden. I thought somewhat impressively for trainer Tom Proctor. We'll see what happens, but Greg, they're not beating Tessellite if she runs her last race.
That was, yeah, her coming out party, no question. Dominated a field. She won by 13 lengths, the 3 filly in this Gasparilla. And she'll try and go a half furlong longer this afternoon, but more importantly has to prove that performance was for real in the 4th start of her career. You can play all the action, get signed up at NYRA Bets, get a $200 deposit match new customer bonus sign up with the code bonus200 at NYRABets.com. This race and then the next race, we have stakes action as well in the Wayward Lass. We will see last year's runner-up in the Kentucky Oaks, Drexel Hill, for a Whit Beckman lineup.
Yeah, and she's going to have to, you know, run well because she's a deep closer in a race where the number 5 Andrea inside of her is the lone speed, at least on paper, and it is not a race that projects to have a particularly fast pace. And it really does seem like a Safi Joseph day, not only having the heavy favorite here, but 2 starters in here and 3 in the Wayward Lass.
Potential upsetters, obviously Lightscape the 4, just made that 1 start. It was good enough. Would need to move forward, but
she'd have to move better. But I liked the way she won. I mean, the debuts, it's hard to know. You know, sometimes horses improve off their debuts, but winning horses off debuts frequently, especially the younger fillies, they come back and don't run as well. We'll see how she runs today.
And then Love Like Lucy, the 2, she actually opened as the favorite. It was early money. That changed pretty quickly. Florida bred. We'll see if she can make an impact.
She lost to a horse in Mythical who has run the fastest Beyer figure 93 of anyone in her crop when she won the Tremont against the boys on Belmont Stakes weekend. It seems like a long, long time ago, doesn't it, Greg?
Yeah, Mythical has beat her back-to-back starts. Now she's got to deal with Tessellate. Jason Beam with the call. Stakes action from Tampa. Here's the Gasparilla.
Not going to jinx it this time. Lightscape going in and gone in. Last 2 going to be Ridgy, and Gerard's Cross will be all set for a start. Gerard's Cross, Sonny Leone to the outside, the Gasparilla Stakes 2026. Gerard's Cross goes in. They're in the gate. Yeah, the race is on in the Gasparilla Stakes. Tessellate, the favorite, got away beautifully from the outside. Gerard's Cross is the quickest, though. Gerard's Cross going to cross over and get to the front. Down to the inside, Love Like Lucy sent through now to take over second. Tessellate parks in third, about 3.5, 4 off the top. So they come out of the main track. Just in behind them comes Lightscape. To that one's outside, Ridgy and Lady Valor. Those 2 share the back. As Gerard's Cross makes a pretty easy lead here, leads it by 2. Gerard's Cross in front of Love Like Lucy in the second spot. The opening quarter, 21.86 seconds. For the 7/8 of a mile distance, the pace is sharp. Gerard's Cross to the half-mile pole, a 2-length lead to Love Like Lucy. It's 2.5 more to Tessellate. Lightscape stays toward the inside of the big favorite, now 4th. Ridgy going to be 3 deep in the 5th position, and Lady Valor trails. Around that far turn, 3/8 of a mile left to go in the Gasparilla. Gerard's Cross has made every yard. Love Like Lucy now within a length. They got the opening half, 44.64 seconds. Tessellate warming up to the task. She's coming 3 deep. She's within a length and a half of Gerard's Cross as they come to the quarter pole. Here comes Tessellate charging up after the lead. Tessellate suddenly a length and a half in front. Down to the inside, Gerard's Cross, Love Like Lucy. Tessellate floated wide, but still leads him into the stretch. Gerard's Cross toward the inside, still battling. Lady Valor trying to run on from the back is starting to engage with Ridgy. Inside the final 1/8 of a mile, Tessellate, the work is not done. 5 in a line in behind, but Tessellate's lead is still 3. Lady Valor, Ridgy coming from out of the pack. Tessellate going to do it, though, and win the Gasparilla. She won it by 2.5 in the end. Lady Valor up for second, Ridgy third, and Love Like Lucy finished 4th.
Tessellate, she actually clicked up a notch to 4-5 when the gates opened, and now back-to-back stakes victories.
Seemed like the overlay of the year as they turned for home. And while I'm not sure that she ran the kind of impressive race she ran last time out, she was still good enough to handle these. A big bunch behind her with the 1 Lady Valor getting second. And talking about the 4 Lightscape, she didn't step forward off her maiden win. But Tessellate, we'll see how the race comes back. And those were pretty fast fractions, huh?
They were flying early, 21-4, 44-3 to the half. That is moving. Our own Maggie Wolfadale is live on site at Tampa Bay. Maggie, your thoughts on Tessellate's win?
Well, you guys kind of just took it from my mouth. I was going to comment on those fractions. They were awfully fast, and considering where the early pace setters finished here, last and second to last, the fact that Tessellate was sitting fairly close to that, I thought actually accentuated her performance. And maybe, well, it might not look as good on paper, the victory, the margin of victory. I thought this was pretty good by her, and a nice rally for the long shot in second, Lady Valor, but she was well off the pace and capitalized on those quick fractions up front. So well done, Team Tessellate. Safi Joseph getting the win here with Edgar Zayas. Greg?
3-1, 5-2 finish, and Tessellate much the best. And you're probably right, not quite as impressive as last start, but more than good enough here.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know, and I always like to withhold judgment till I look at speed figures and see how well they rate the race. And it's early. I'll tell you, there's a lot of room at the top, though, in the 3-year-old filly division, so we'll see where she goes from here.
to Aqueduct, race 7, 1-turn mile in a $50,000 claiming race, all for sale for that price. Non-winners at 2 lifetime the condition. Amy's Music kicks off the post parade.
Yeah, Amy's Music going out for Mike Trombetta. She's an awfully big price for a horse that's not that bad. I mean, I don't think she looks like a 13-1 on paper. Do you?
No, good Lord, looks awfully good on the racetrack right now for Brad Cox.
You know, the Brad Cox claim horses that have done extremely well are the Sandy Goldfarb ones, more so than Michael Dubb can win, but I'm a little skeptical.
We're both a little surprised. Still the big price on I Can.
I thought it was a great claim by Linda Rice. Is a mile a little bit far? I don't know. It's a big price.
Bill Mott runner who broke the maiden 2-back, Playa Del Mar.
I like Playa Del Mar quite a bit in here. I was impressed by this horse and then ran into a very tough field last time.
Improving Ambridge, the 5.
I don't see it. I don't like the 4-horse field that he comes out of. I'm a big fan of Bill Morey, but boy, I thought this horse had to improve.
Fiddling Felix went by. Some of the fastest numbers in the field.
But is he really a miler, or is he better a little shorter? This is a big move up for him.
And the 7 outside, Salming for Rob Atras.
I'm not sure Salming is totally impossible. One thing I'll say is he's coming out of a live race. A little bit slow, but he could improve for Rob off the claim. 7-2 seems like an awfully short price, though, on this horse, doesn't it?
It was 8-1 morning line, taking a lot of attention right now on the board. Let's bring in Megan Burgess now for more on the 7th. Megan.
Well, I am going to touch on the 2. Good Lord, actually, there for Brad Cox. One of a couple in here that is getting to this route of ground distance, and Brad Cox has some pretty gaudy numbers when doing so statistically, but just physically, I thought this horse would really take to the stretch out in distance. He's a bigger, leggier individual that I really find this added ground will do him some good. Not a ton of pace in this race, so we'll see if that'll translate as far as the speed was concerned. But, I mean, bet down to favoritism last time out at 7 furlongs, and I just find him to be one that really will appreciate this added ground. I honestly thought he would be even more shorter than he is, considering the connections. But I do agree with Andy as far as the number 1 Amy's Music is concerned. It took some interest as a long shot there, Greg.
All right, Megan, thank you. She'll be joining me a little bit later on in the program on the desk when Andy signs off.
I'm amazed the 7 is 3-1. I can understand a sort of wise guy idea to like the horse. I just could never bet the horse at 3-1. But public is usually smart, so we'll see how it plays out. But I do like the 4 Playa Del Mar in here.
Meanwhile, Fiddling Felix, Flavian Pratt, 3-win day already. See if he can add with another one here. 8-1 on that runner. Stretching back out. Favorite, though, Good Lord, the 2. Brad Cox, finalist for the Eclipse Award as Outstanding Trainer, off the claim. Let's go to Chris Griffin.
Salming to the outside and in. All set. And they're off. Breaking well was Ambridge in between horses, but Fiddling Felix with the speed. Fiddling Felix on the far outside has the momentum, is now up by a head. Here to join this leader is going to be I Can. Is down to the inside as a challenging second. Ambridge is in third. Is to the outside here, Playa Del Mar. That's the leading quartet as they come out of the chute. Just in behind them towards the back end, Salming starts to move, is taken 5th. Then in 6th is going to be Good Lord and the trailer. Tightly bunched field, that's Amy's Music. On the front end, Fiddling Felix, 23-4. Opening quarter mile, Fiddling Felix is in front. A snug hold, I Can is in between horses. Now down at the rail, actually, is right outside is Ambridge. A challenging second. Back to 3rd will be I Can. Moving forward is Playa Del Mar. That one's in 4th, and here towards the outside is Salming. Starts to move forward now. Good Lord. Manny Franco looked over his right shoulder, wants to move to the outside and does. On the trailer, Amy's Music. 48.55, a half mile time. Fiddling Felix is in charge. Right there is Ambridge. 3 wide. Here comes Salming. Good Lord tried to launch that big rally from the back. Playa Del Mar in between horses starts to make a move from 5th. Then at the rail, that's I Can, and the trailer, Amy's Music. On the front end, it's still Fiddling Felix to the inside as they approach a quarter mile left to go. Salming, center of the racetrack, starts to challenge, and Ambridge is losing ground down in between horses. Playa Del Mar dives down towards the inside. Good Lord has a sustained rally going. Fiddling Felix still there. A final furlong to get. Here's Playa Del Mar down to the inside. Good Lord is just eating up the ground now. Here comes Fiddling Felix down to the line. Fiddling Felix still in front. Fiddling Felix wins it. Fiddling Felix with a front-running score. Give Pratt another one. Give him 4 on the day. It's a photo between Playa Del Mar and Good Lord in 1 minute 39.38 seconds.
Fiddling Felix stretching back out. Best work had not been going this longer distance, but it works today.
I'm confused. Who won, the 2 or 6? I'm sorry. I was too busy watching the horrible ride by Shaheen Savachi in this situation, who would have won the 4 if he hadn't dove down the dead rail. Apparently, Shaheen hasn't been watching the racing here the last couple days. He's been busy. Wow. You like this horse more than I did. He was able to get to the front end with Pratt. There isn't much speed here, and he was an aggressive ride, got it done. Surprised Manny was as far back as he was, but he was able to hold on. But he gets an assist from Shaheen Savachi, who needs to watch the racing around here if he's going to ride. I've always been a fan of his, but if you're diving down the rail in the stretch, then you're simply not paying attention.
Pratt had won 3 in a row until the last race. Now notches number 4 on the afternoon with more work to come. We're going to take a break. Fiddling Felix. You don't often get one of the best riders in the sport at 8-1. It happens here. Up next, out at Tampa, Wayward Lass and last year's runner-up in the Kentucky Oaks. On the first Friday in May, back in action, Drexel Hill off that runner-up finish and the Grade 2 Mother Goose. Back to work for Whit Beckman. Back with you on America's Day at the Races. Watch out. Get back to Tampa here. And play all the action at NYRA Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. We used to know his name.
He's looking for Maggie. I could sense, he sort of got that feeling. He knows Maggie's around, and he's slowly
Watch out,
making
Maggie.
his
Gasper,
move.
Untold is his name. Tessellate with the victory in the Gasparilla. Back-to-back stakes wins. Now Safi Joseph Jr. trains Edgar Zayas aboard for the win.
Yeah, gets it done professionally here. Nice performance. We'll see what happens going forward.
3-1-5 finish to Maggie.
Please be joined here in the Tampa Winner's Circle by Paul Braverman, co-owner of Tessellate. And Paul, off the back of that blowout performance at Gulfstream Park, what were you expecting coming into this Gasparilla?
We thought if she could run the same race and kind of lay off the pace, it would be a kind of perfect setup for us, and it developed well, and I thought Edgar rode her perfectly.
He does know her well, and she's now 3 for 5 lifetime. Quite an impressive, record for a young filly. Do you think she goes on? Do you think there's distance in her?
We tried her long once, and it didn't work, but she may not have been mature enough at that point. At this time of year, you got to give them a chance. So it's Safi's call still, and we'd love to stretch her up, and my guess is we'll try 2 turns next time.
As you said, it was good to know that she does like this Tampa surface. Do you plan on campaigning her here?
There's a spot here, 1.40 miles in 4 weeks, so if that's Safi's choice, it'd be great. We'll be back.
Well, good to see you in the winner's circle. Congratulations.
Thank you. How are the kids?
Kids are great. Thanks for asking. Everybody wants to know about Grace and Willow on their show, but Paul, thank you for asking.
I saw your daughter when they brought her to Kids Day.
Yes.
And she's going through the pedigrees. It was unbelievable.
That's what we breed them for. Greg?
That performance did stand out on Bring Your Kids to Work Day. Definitely a future in this business for Maggie's youngsters. Tessellate has a big future in front of her as well, potentially. We'll see if that lies ultimately going longer or what she did today sprinting.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about the performance. We'll look at the speed figures and see what goes on going forward. It's early, and she seems to be an improving 3-year-old.
Wayward Lass is next. Race named after former champion 3-year-old filly in 1981 who won the Coaching Cup American Oaks. The Mother Goose, Busanda and Ruthless, was dominant that year, trained by Horatio Loro.
No. Horatio Loro?
Yes.
Oh, I thought Jose Martin trained this horse. I thought it was a flying Z horse for Jose Martin, but apparently I got that one wrong.
Drexel Hill, former runner-up of the Kentucky Oaks, 3-5, came back off the first start since last year's Oaks in the Mother Goose, November 8th, and a runner-up behind a pretty good one named Fully Subscribed. We'll get back to her in a moment. Back to Fiddling Felix, 4 on the day for a man who may be collecting some more hardware as outstanding jockey in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, perhaps. I think he's not riding here. He may give the other riders a chance to win a race, but we'll see. Yeah, he's sticking around here and making life difficult for everybody else.
Fiddling Felix just 2 for 12 now, lifetime trained by Fernando Abreu, final turn racing, and able to hold off this late charge from Good Lord. Brad Cox, runner off the claim, comes up short. And $18.50. It is rare to see a price like that on this rider.
Yeah, I couldn't get this horse without an all, and I firmly believe he only won because of ineptitude by another rider in the race, but you got to give credit for being aggressive in a race that lacks speed and staying off the rail.
Race 8. 6 furlongs, New York bred entry-level allowance. We have a 7-5 favorite, Nina K, for Linda Rice. Off since October. The last start was at this condition, missed by a neck as the favorite behind Intentious.
She's no horse to beat, but she's also lost 4 straight races at short prices. I would bet Lady Angelina, but honestly, after the last race, I can't trust that rider to not go to the rail.
17 minutes away from race 8 at Aqueduct, next at Tampa. Wayward Lass, and there she is in the background center screen. Just 6-horse Drexel Hill, second in last year's Kentucky Oaks. Did not come back until November this past year. Second as the runner-up in the Mother Goose for trainer Whit Beckman. She'll be the one to beat when we come back.
$1,600,000, thank you.
You bet with NYRA Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the NYRA Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the NYRA Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with NYRA Bets.
Archangelo, the Belmont winner in charge. The Grade 1 Whitney to Arthur's ride.
And a Dare Manor will take the Clementel Hirsch. Olympiad gets the gold. It is Timberlake who's going to win.
Tap it twice! Tap it twice!
Sierra Leone in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Oaklawn Hot Springs is here for when you need to break away, when you want to reward yourself, when you deserve to indulge, when you want to be close to the action. It's all here. So what are you waiting for? Live racing returns with the classic racing season. So plan your stay at Oaklawn Hot Springs and come join the fun.
Back on our Fox Sports coverage, you're watching America's Day at the Races with more stakes action ahead here in this Wayward Lass at a mile and a 16th on a beautiful day that Maggie Wolfendale gets to enjoy.
You sound a little bit jealous.
No, she has earned it with the time she puts in having to work outdoors here. And you were correct. Bred by Horatio Loro, trained by Jose Martin, the great Wayward Lass, the champion filly back in 1981, 3-year-old champion filly. Odds on Drexel Hill. You were surprised by that. It's probably a little short. I thought Runaway Diva, similar figures, and she was just third behind Regale, who was third in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. But let's look at Drexel Hill and her comeback race from the Oaks.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with her being the horse to beat in this race. I thought she ran extremely well. You know, sort of, she's the one, when she moved, she kind of moved early in here, and it forced the hand of Dylan Davis, who at the time was riding Fully Subscribed before he got injured. And he kind of had to move a little sooner, and then Fully Subscribed came back with an impressive win, the come leader next start. It's a very good effort for her coming off the layoff, and she should get better. But, you know, it's not like she's running speed figures that are setting the world on fire, that she's supposed to be that big a favorite. And I do like a horse in here. I like the 5, Andrea, to wire the field. I thought she was lone speed.
For Saffie Joseph Jr., we'll look to go back-to-back here in these stakes. There she is. And Zayas will be back aboard, going further than she has ever gone in her career. We'll see if she can last the distance. There's the Oaks runner-up from last year, so 1-2. And Whit Beckman feels training exceptional for this first start of her 4-year-old campaign. Here's Ultimate Authority.
Yeah, she's probably going to be forward as well in this race. Now, she's got back races that are good. It's her recent form that's problematic.
Early on, Saffie Joseph Jr. was a nose beat runner-up of the Gazelle back in April of last year.
She was entered in a soft spot here. That's the 2 early on we're talking about right now. Apparently, they're really fascinated by the 1 in the post parade here. Each other horse they'll get for 1 second. Early on was entered here in an allowance race where she would have been a prohibitive favorite, and she was scratched a couple of weeks ago. It's a tougher spot. She's a horse that had promise, and she could improve.
18-1 next door. Rosario's Prayer. Sunny Leone, former Derby-winning rider aboard.
I think she looks about as good going into this race as Rich Strike did going into the Derby.
And just to show you, yeah, she's got a chance, as you're saying. Runaway Diva, I thought a major player at 5-1.
Well, she was second with a good trip in a race that fell apart in the mud last time. Can she run back to that race on a dry track?
Andrea, here's the speedster just went by, who you are fond of.
She got involved in a ridiculous pace last time in a tough race at Moaning Valley. It's sprinting. I like her stretching out as the lone speed.
And Whit Beckman's Drexel Hill with Ben Curtis.
She's probably the horse to beat it here, but I don't understand what about her PPs. Just because she ran second in a sloppy track in the Kentucky Oaks doesn't make her 1-2 in this race. I'm sorry, her races just aren't fast enough, I believe, for her to be a prohibitive favorite. She may win, but I think you're taking the worst of it at these odds.
But you run second in a race like that, you come back and run second. Fully Subscribed, who beat her last start. looks like she could be a major player in the distaff division, right?
I hope that she is, yeah, for sure. But then again, she was in a 4-horse photo or 3 or 4-horse photo for second, so they bunched up well behind her. I thought she ran fine last time. I'm not suggesting she's not the horse to beat in this race. I'm just saying I don't think she looks like. Does she look like a 2 to 5 shot on paper?
She does not. Not, I don't think to most of us, but to the betting public right now, she does. Early on, one of a couple in here for Saffie Joseph Jr., who just missed in the Gazelle on the road to the Oaks. She ran in the Oaks. She was 46 to 1. She made no impact.
Yeah, obviously she was in a bit tough in that race, and she just didn't really show up on the wet track. And something may have gone wrong too. We didn't see her for 6 months after that race. We're watching her in the Gazelle. Oh yes, that was a nice effort by her. Now that she was improving, I don't think she's impossible in this race.
7-1 right now, no question, having gone to the bench. Things did not work out. We'll see potentially here a pretty difficult ask to win off the bench here in stakes company that long a time away against some pretty stiff competition. Let's go to Maggie.
Yeah, we'll take a look here at your heavy favorite. Yeah, guys, I was pretty shocked when I looked up and saw that price on her. What is she still now at 1 to 2 on Drexel Hill? I suppose a little bit more of a name recognition type of thing. We'll see how she does here. Now, she's coming back kind of second off that extended layoff from the Kentucky Oaks with a little bit of a gap after that second place effort in the Grade 2 Mother Goose, obviously complemented with Fully Subscribed, coming back and running as well as she did with a 92 buyer in her next start in a graded stakes. And I thought it was a good effort because in the write-ups and talking with Whit, he really sounded convinced that Drexel Hill would need a start. And I kind of get that. She's that bigger type of filly that might need to race into fitness totally, but she never gave it up. She always kept coming. She was definitely second best. But I like the fact that she didn't blow up, in other words, as we like to say when horses need a race and they aren't quite as fit as you like to see. She looks as though she's moved forward from that effort in that Mother Goose. She's very strong, very defined overall. She has a great disposition here at Tampa. We'll see. It's her first start here. The only thing I could say is maybe she could look a bit better in her coat, as she has been mostly training down here in Florida at Payson, as Whit Beckman does have horses at Payson Park for the first time. Number 4, I agree with you, Greg. I find her intriguing. Runaway Diva. We haven't seen her in a while. She's another layoff runner where Gal really just kind of ran a hole in the wind and came back and backed it up with that third place effort in the distaff. And she settled while on the bridle behind that runaway leader. She did get to cut the corner pretty nicely, but she's made an excellent impression on me here for Michelle Hemingway, who I don't get to see her horses that often, but typically they are really well turned out. She's gotten a big warm-up, too, by Sammy Marin here, as she does look ready off the bench. Another one that was very spirited when she hit the racetrack is number 2, early on. Another Saffie Joseph runner here. He'll send out 2 in this race, 3. And early on, does look fit. She never looked that athletic to me, going back to her early 3-year-old days, late 2-year-old days in New York. Now she has lengthened her frame a bit. I do think that a Mount of 16th is probably a good distance to bring her back. She looks pretty fit out there. She did get a little bit hot. Like I said, she was pretty fresh as well in that warm-up, really kind of grabbing the bit and taking on Daniel Centeno. So I would mostly take the wait-and-see approach with her, but at 7 to 1, I have noticed a nice step forward from 3 to 4. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thank you. Yeah, there is early on, 1 of 2 for Saffie Joseph. He has pretty good 1-2 punch. This one and then the speed of the field with the 5 Andrea.
I agree. I think this is a wide open race. I don't think by any stretch of the imagination the 6s should be an overwhelming favorite in here. And this is what happens. You know, we talk about stake face, but there's a lot of horses that ran stakes. Running second, that Kentucky Oaks, is going to get overrated by bettors. And she did run fine in there, but that was a sloppy track race. That had a fast pace that was falling apart. And it's kind of the antithesis of the race she's in today, right? She's in a race that doesn't have any speed on paper. And, you know, maybe Ben Curtis will get her a little bit closer. But I just don't understand exactly why she's supposed to be 1 to 2 in here.
Let's go back to Maggie with more on the other Staffy Joseph Jr. runner, Andrea.
Yeah, as Andy mentioned, she is the speed stretching out in distance, and boy, did she act that way, as she was very edgy in the paddock. They had a lot of trouble getting the tack on her. She does kind of give the impression that she's a little bit of an all or nothing type. She has run very well in a lot of her races without winning too, but sometimes she just throws in the towel, and that makes me a little nervous because she just looks so nervous. I do think, at least physically, she is built for handling a bit more ground. She's quite lengthy in her frame through her barrel, so there's some scope to her as well. And I'm willing to forgive her for that last effort. As Andy said, you know, it wasn't the greatest of starts, and she was sent for speed, and she dueled it and just stopped and kind of set things up for the favorite that day. We'll see. I just wish she was a bit more settled for me to be convinced that she can take them all the way here, Greg.
So loading up Wayward Lass, Drexel Hill, 2-5. Now the shortest she has been in the wagering. She should be far back early. First start of her 4-year-old campaign, second start back off the Oaks from last year. Jason Beam, the call.
Rhea toward the outside, and Drexel Hill going to be the final one to join. The big favorite here, 2-5. Drexel Hill. Ben Curtis into ride. Drexel Hill going in. They're in the gate. And the race is on in the Wayward Lass Stakes. And hopping at the start is Andrea, but she's going to rush right up, though, to challenge for the lead. Andrea and Runaway Diva, they're 1-2, and Andrea is going to grab the lead. Runaway Diva going to sit back in the second position. Up the inside, Ultimate Authority is now into third. Between horses Rosario's Prayer, Drexel Hill going to be 3 deep here as they run into that first turn. The early trailer is early on with 7/8 of a mile left to go, and Andrea is the front runner. It's Andrea in front by just over a length to Runaway Diva and Ultimate Authority. They sit together second and third, then a lineup of 3. Drexel Hill out wide. Early on moves up a couple of spots now toward the inside to put a nose into fourth. Rosario's Prayer, the trailer. So 24.57 seconds. So the bad start still has Andrea in the lead. Some just mild pressure from Runaway Diva on the outside, who's under a strong hold. So they're not in any hurry up top. Down to the inside, Ultimate Authority races third, along with Drexel Hill, who inches closer to the outside. That keeps Ben Curtis keeping her in the clear here in the early stages as they run to the half-mile pole. Early on, Rosario's Prayer, the 2 at the back, just 3 lengths front to back with a half-mile to go in the Wayward Lass. 49 seconds even for the opening half-mile time. Runaway Diva up alongside of Andrea, and Runaway Diva pokes ahead in front of Andrea, now back second. Given the cue there is Drexel Hill from third to go after Runaway Diva as they go midway around the far turn. Runaway Diva 3/4 in front of Drexel Hill, who's pushed to go after this one. Runaway Diva still sitting chilly there. Samuel Marin up top. Meanwhile, Ultimate Authority's up to third. Andrea back fourth. They come to the top of the stretch. Drexel Hill right up alongside of Runaway Diva. Here's Drexel Hill on the outside to poke ahead in front. Runaway Diva tries to counter back toward the inside. They're 2.5, 3 clear of Ultimate Authority as they come by the 8th pole. Drexel Hill to the front. A length now. Runaway Diva switches to the outside as they have a final 16th to go. Drexel Hill, Runaway Diva, valiant but second best to Drexel Hill, who's going to go on to win it here. Drexel Hill by 2. Kicks off her 4-year-old campaign in winning fashion. Runaway Diva was second, a long way back to Ultimate Authority and early on.
Drexel Hill wide early. In the end, does not matter. Rolls to victory. 3rd win of her career.
Yes, probably a little over bet at 3-5, but she was best in this race. Just proved best. Obviously, with the 5 of the break, she wasn't going to win. And this horse ran well. The horse who was second, a horse I know that you like, Greg, in here, Runaway Diva. She was a game second, but she was second best. The best horse won.
So Drexel Hill, second start back from last year's Oaks, back into the winner's circle with her 3rd career victory for Whit Beckman. Ben Curtis back aboard. And she'll get her picture taken. We'll have those prices coming up in a moment. Back to New York, race 8, 6 furlongs in this New York bred first level allowance race in a post parade that happened, or started, I should say, just moments ago. Here's Red Wine and Whiskey for Linda Dixon.
One of quite a few horses that are coming in here from Finger Lakes, where her last couple of races were pretty good, but can she bring that form here? That's always the eternal question.
Rare Society beat by the 5 2 starts ago, came back and broke her maiden.
She did, and she improved a lot, and that's so she's improving, but she'll have to take another step forward.
Third off the bench, Central to Success, Butch Reed.
Yeah, coming in here isn't bad. Should be somewhat forwardly placed, just not sure if she's good enough, and she has the misfortune of being an inside speed type.
Unicorn Cake, some big figures at Finger Lakes. Going to translate here.
Yeah, I'll remain skeptical.
Here is Lady Angelina for Belmont.
Hopefully the rider learned from his mistake last time and he stays outside. I like Lady Angelina. I thought she ran well last time, and she has room to improve.
Gregory DePrima Barnes, Sunshine Lily.
I thought she was the logical third likeliest winner in this race, which is the way the public are betting the race.
Queens over threes at a big price.
They're pretty good.
Very
Queens
quick
over
early.
threes. She has one good figure last time, but hard to like overall on her form. But a
Cloudy-
big trainer change, I thought.
Cloudy Chance just went by Manny Franco for Chris Englehart.
Another horse would have to improve.
Major player Nina Kay at 4-5, the favorite.
She is, and she drew well on the outside. My problem with her is she's lost 4 straight races at short prices for Linda Rice. That bothers me.
And then huge price outside the 10, Dorth Saul Dancer.
Yeah, she's another one. She's got some okay races at Finger Lakes. It's a repetition. Are you good enough to win it, in New York?
All right, so back to the one you like, Lady Angelina for Belmont, coming off that maiden win.
Well, I thought her maiden win was as fast as the races Nina Kay has been running, and she obviously was a work in progress. She did not run well in her debut. She's not really a turf horse. And she turned it around dramatically last time, good trip or not. So unlike Nina Kay, who's been failing at short prices, she could be one with a little bit of a forward move. I don't think we'll see one from Nina Kay. I think Nina Kay might be the horse to beat, but I think the margin is thin between these two, and the price is clearly much better.
Yeah, 4-1 right now. First time in against winners. Let's head downstairs to Megan.
Well, I agree with you, Andy, as far as there's not a huge figure edge, and Nina Kay, although an ultra-assistant commodity, has been failing as the favorite in many of her starts, but I thought she was the horse to beat in this group. I didn't get all that creative as far as the 9 and the 5 in here are concerned, but the number 9, Nina Kay, I just thought her rateability was also interesting to me. She draws well, and she does have tactical speed. I thought there was a good amount of speed signed on in this group, and back on October the 26th, she broke wide. She didn't save any ground as the rail skimming winner did, and sat off of things, finishing well in second. I thought she was a little bit unlucky to lose that day, but just as far as her energy, she's always been one that's been kind of aggressive in the paddock, and this time, as Acacia had mentioned from those notes last time out, she just carried some good weight and conditioning. She is a bigger filly as she continues on here off that bit of time away from October, and I thought she looked fit for the task. And to Andy's point, she has been failing at short prices as of late, but also ultra consistent there, Greg, and one that I thought had the draw and the potential ability to sit off of what looks to be a good tempo up front.
Thank you, Megan. Here we go. One last to load here outside. Nina Kay, the 9 for Linda Rice. 4-5 favorite. Chris Griffin, the call.
Set. And they're off. In between horses, here comes Queens over threes. Queens over threes sprints clear right to the front. Queens over threes is up by a full length. Now they're stacked up in behind. At the rail, here comes Rare Society, central to successes in that mix. Back there in fourth is Nina Kay, that's the gray. Progressing is Lady Angelina from fifth, is backing out of it as Rare Society got caught up in traffic. It's a wide run here up on the outside for Cloudy Chance. Then behind them, there's Sunshine Lily. Towards the back end is going to be Dorsal Dancers, Unicorn Cake, and Red Wine and Whiskey is the trailer. They're still chasing Queens over threes, and Queens over threes got right to the lead, is trying to take them all the way. 22-4 was that opening quarter mile, and as they approach a quarter mile left to go, can the long shot hold them off? Queens over threes is still about a length and a half in front. Nina Kay's in full pursuit. Sunshine Lily down towards the inside. Center of the racetrack, Cloudy Chance. The leader starts to tire, but still in front. It's Queens over threes. Now Nina Kay gets closer. Nina Kay is now pushed on by. Queens over threes is back to second. Nina Kay Lescano wins it. Nina Kay will win it. Queens over threes was second, then came Cloudy Chance and Sunshine Lily in 1 minute 12.70 seconds.
4-5 favorite. Looks justified here. It had 4 runner-ups in 6 career starts. Gets win number 2 today.
Yep, got the job done. A nice performance by Queens over threes, who got clear, just not able to hold this off, who got the perfect trip, and she got it done today. And Lady Angelina, I don't know if she was going to be effective, but I know she wasn't going to be effective right down the dead rail.
Won the debut on a sloppy sealed track. 0 for 5 since, including 4 runner-ups in 5 starts. And now gets an off track again and back in the winner's circle.
Yeah.
9-7-8 finish, 22-1, 23-1 underneath.
Yeah, cloudy chance. Really improved for Chris Englehart to run third here.
All right, we'll have these prices for you when we return to New York. It's back to Tampa. Drexel Hill returns to the winner's circle for trainer Whit Beckman with Ben Curtis. Winner's circle lead-in brought to you by the Fasig-Tipton, Kentucky Winter Mix Sale, scheduled for February 9th in Lexington, Kentucky. Enter now at FasigTipton.com. And Drexel Hill, Ben Curtis obviously felt he was on much the best. Didn't seem too concerned about being wide early and keeping clear.
Well, he's riding at Tampa. You know, if you're going to ride at Tampa, you got to stay out in the middle of the track. That's all the other riders do. You don't have to worry about them going to a dead rail.
20 cents for the win. Runway Diva, Ultimate Authority, complete the trifecta. Let's go to Maggie.
Here's winning rider of Drexel Hill, Ben Curtis. And Ben, I know it's been kind of a long road and an unlucky one at times. She got scratched, you got hurt, but today it all came together with a win in this Wayward Lass.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, unfortunately, I couldn't ride her last time, but she had a great comeback run. Showed all the signs that the ability was still there, and we knew the fitness would take a big jump forward for that run. And this was a nice spot just to get her back on track. Obviously, a little bit shorter than what would be her best, and we didn't go very quick. So I had to kind of adapt to that because normally she likes to come running at them, and we were walking. So I put her up there early, and she doesn't do a lot when she gets to the front. You know, she's a real professional. She gets there and then kind of gears herself down. So I actually had to keep her up to her work, but I sat up on her at the wire, and it was like she just jumped in. She ran off me down the back. So that's a good sign. Great to get her back in the #1 spot. You know, for everyone, it's a great bunch of people that own her, and Whit, who trains her, is a great guy, good friend. So good day.
Very good day, and coming in here to Tampa, how closely do you work with her and obviously Whit Stable as a whole in the mornings?
Yeah, I've breezed her in the mornings a lot. Obviously, recently I haven't been there because I've been down at the fairgrounds, and she isn't based down there. So yeah, but listen, Whit tells me he knows her as well as anyone, and they know when she's doing well. And she looked a picture today. Couldn't have been here in any better shape, and that'll do her confidence the world of good.
Well done, you. I'm glad you got the win with her.
Brilliant. Thank you, sweetheart.
All right, Drexel Hill back to the winner's circle with Ben Curtis and for Whit Beckman.
Very interesting as we, turn this page to 2026 and we see this division. Obviously, the Queen retired, Torpedo Anna. So it's going to be interesting to see who kind of takes over the mantle.
Yeah, I feel like Scylla's coming back. And I think you'll see Belmont running her long this year. And obviously, if she's able to duplicate those kind of performance she put in the Breeders' Cup, she's going to be very tough. But she hasn't had that consistency. Other than that, probably a lot of horses that need to move forward. But, it's hard to know. It's early in the year who's coming back and who's able to still run well.
Going to be on the turf for race 8 at Tampa at 1 1/8. First level allowance race is next up. Approaching the 15-minute mark to post. And as the board reflects, very wide open right now. The three expecting a winner, a very mild favorite at this point. Antonio Gallardo will be aboard.
Yeah, I thought it was probably horses towards the inside, but that's not helping anybody.
We're going to talk more about this one when we come back from a timeout. When we return from break, the Kentucky Derby, Belmont, and Travers winner. How much hardware will he collect in less than 2 weeks' time? Is he the horse of the year? We'll discuss when we come back. Stay with us on America's Day at the Races.
How does one qualify for the Kentucky Derby?
Good question. The horses that qualify for the Kentucky Derby have to earn points. And there are points races that are dictated by Churchill Downs about where and when you can get points for the Kentucky Derby. You better bring a really good horse for those kind of races. And then you typically have to have a minimum of 20 to 30 points would be the bottom number of points it takes to get in the Kentucky Derby. And you have to keep track of the points, which is always interesting because you're trying to figure out who's going to get in.
Program brought to you in part by America's Best Racing, making the sport easier to follow. Explore stories, betting tips, and race day insights at americasracing.net. Nina K, impressive. In race 8, Jose Lezcano, he had a 3-win day yesterday. Teams up with Linda Rice. William Sickler owns his 4-year-old filly, wins for the second time in 7 starts.
Yeah, she found the right field, got the right trip, and getting it done down on the outside with Jose Lezcano. Heavy favorite, delivered.
4 runner-ups the last 5 tries. Different story today. Yeah, Nina K at odds on delivers. Pretty good start to the year for Linda Rice, who set a record last year, most wins ever, breaking her own record that she shared with David Jacobson for wins in a single season on the NYRA circuit.
I'm not worried about Linda. I think she's going to be okay. I think she'll probably have a good year. What do you think?
I think most would agree.
Yeah.
9, 7, 8, 2 huge prices underneath. And that results in a $171 trifecta for 50 cents. Going to close out the card, race 9, 6 furlongs. New York bred maiden special weight for 3-year-old fillies. And 5-2 on the 11 here. Princess Jane, speaking of, Linda Rice with a first-time starter, and Flavian Pratt will try for number 5 on the card.
Going to take money with Flavian especially. The dam was a Grade 1 winner of almost $800,000. And this is an unusual maiden race, especially a New York bred maiden race, to see in January here, where you have a lot of pedigrees, a lot of pretty relatively expensive yearling purchases, and you know the 3, the 4, the 8, the 9, the 11. And while experience can be helpful, and Hit the Hat seems like the more logical of the ones with experience, along with Boiling Point, this feels like a race where a first-time starter is probably going to win, but that's hardly going out on a limb.
Getting bet like that one can run a little bit. So we'll get back to this field, take a look at that firster in a moment. Let's talk Eclipse Awards, less than 2 weeks away now. A week from this coming Thursday. And look at the season that Sovereignty put together, starting with that Fountain of Youth win, beating the Florida Derby, and then that incredible run. Derby, Belmont, Jim Dandy, and Travers. No one had ever completed that 4
You
in
love
a row.
that. You love that.
Hey, it's history.
Oh, yeah.
What a year Sovereignty had. Here's Bill Mott on the incredible run.
We started out in good order down in Florida and winning the Fountain of Youth and a good race in the Florida Derby, and that propelled us into the Kentucky Derby, which was really a fantastic race for him. I mean, if you had to ask me which was his best race of the year, I would say just because of the size of the field and the condition of the racetrack and the trip, you know, you have to overcome 18 or 19 other horses in the race. It was really a fantastic race and something that I wanted him to be able to do. I wanted to do it for the owners and for the team that raised him and brought him around, and for our own team. It was a big thrill for everybody. Another goal that we had besides the Belmont was the Travers. That was a big one for me, and I had never won a Travers before, and it was a race that was on my bucket list. To watch Sovereignty win the Travers was huge for me and the whole team, not only me, but selfishly it was something that I wanted and something that worked out.
It was an incredible run, and it was fun for everyone who follows this sport to see this horse just continue to produce on the big stage.
Terrific racehorse, no doubt about it, and the obvious winner of the 3-year-old Eclipse, and you and I agree should be horse of the year as well. He's, you know, it's so funny. Bill Mott had never won a Whitney and Travers, and the last 2 seasons in Saratoga, he's now won them both. Not too many races left for Bill Mott to win, right?
One of the best to ever do it, and then to showing what, as you've said, maybe no one more you want with a good horse. than Bill Mott and showing what he can do with a very good one.
Yeah, no, he's obviously, when you see him get these good horses, the way they maintain their form, obviously Cigar comes to mind, and I thought Cigar's brilliance was his ability to continue to perform at the highest level every single time. And Bill shipped him all over the country, and in some cases, not just the country, around the world. And, you look at Elite Power, the way he held his form for a year and a half. And that's really the mark of the best trainers.
Cody's way.
Yeah, good horses obviously keep their form. But Bill, when he gets a good horse, he knows how to get them there and to keep that good form, the truly good ones. Cody's Wish is another great example.
So it could be a very productive evening. A couple of Thursdays away as we take a look at the Eclipse Award finalists and a few categories, really the human categories that are probably the most contested right now for jockey and trainer.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a bad choice between Irad and Flavien Prat. I'd probably vote for Flavien, but I don't think you can make a bad choice there. You and I are more on the same page in the trainer. Mott will probably win. It's more about one horse. I don't like that, but, it's not like anybody else had such an amazing year that it was bad. I would vote for Copian for female sprinter. I imagine She's So Spicy will probably win that. I would not vote for her. Notable Speech will probably win. I would want to see Deterministic win, but Notable Speech is not a bad choice. I think Godolphin's going to do pretty well in the owner breeder. What do you think?
Yes, and then, going to keep our eyes certainly on trainer and jockey Prat or Irad Ortiz Jr. Prat looking to go back-to-back, but both those two, just incredible years, both breaking the $40 million mark in earnings and about just a touch over $1,600 separated the two at the end of the year.
And about that much distance, because Flavien finished fourth in his last mount of the year, beaten third about that much, and if he had been third, he would have won it. That's remarkable. Now, Irad, I think, rode about 400 more horses, so he did it, and Flavien had much better earnings per ride.
More graded stakes wins as well. More grade 1 wins for Prat.
Yeah, I would give it to Irad, to Flavien over that. But once again, you're talking about two great riders who both had sensational years. So I don't think you can say there's a bad choice among them, whether you like one over the other. About you, what do you think?
I think Prat deserves it with the year he had.
Okay.
But it's very close.
Yeah. I think Irad deserves it too. I just thought Flavien deserves a little over him.
Well, you got to make a choice.
Pretty incredible that Irad could win $40 million and potentially, or either one of them, not win the Eclipse. I'd give it to both. I wish they could have a tie.
They really do. This year, I would say they both deserve it.
I think all three apprentices are pretty good this year too. That's a award where a lot of times it's a big bunch of people you're not aware of. I'll root for the home team and Christopher Elliott, though.
Hazelwood's going to be tough to...
They're all good. Right? The rider up in Canada is very good as well.
Post parade for the 8th at Tampa. Phoenix of Wit at 9-2. Trained by Joe Orsino.
Yeah, a disappointing third last time, behind expecting a winner, but is a horse that I think is a major contender.
Here's the favorite. Perky had a big win back in April.
This horse is favored because it's Miguel Clement training the horse. I don't think he should be favored based on the races, or she should be, that she's run.
Expecting a winner was favored earlier.
Yeah, she finished ahead of the one last time, but I thought the one might be overall more likely winner.
Bill Mott with Mystic Sea.
Why is she 5-1 in here? I thought she fits in here, though she has not won on turf.
It's Satisfactual at 36-1.
Yeah, she seems like an unlikely winner.
Winner last time out, here the 6.
Yeah, she finally got it done in her 8th start. She'd have to take another step forward, I guess.
Second try on grass and first time going long for Frida.
She's a little bit interesting in this race. If you want a price, I'd go to her.
Mike Deeney Barn, Authenticate Now.
She's got to get a little faster.
Big price next door, double the price of the 9 with Naughty Favors for trainer Kevin Rice.
Claimed for $6,000 out of her last race. Tries the turf for the first time and doesn't have no pedigree. She has a little bit.
And I thought a big chance with Mrs. Katz.
She's cheap, but she's run figures fast enough to win this race off the claim. For what it's worth, Derek Ryan off the claim in turf routes, just 1 for 5. So not much of a sample size, but he does have a winner. And I agree with you, that horse could win.
3 minutes to post in this 8th at Tampa Bay. That's where you get signed up to play all the action. NYRA Bets. The offer, there it is. $200 deposit match, new customer bonus when you punch in that code at sign up. Bonus $200 and bet any track, anywhere, anytime, right there at NYRABets.com. Let's go to Maggie.
Yeah, we'll take a look here at virtually all the even numbered horses as we'll begin with number 2 Perky here from Miguel Clement. And you know, it's to be expected. This horse is incredibly well turned out as she is second off of a layoff. She looks strong, she looks fit, and I like the fact that she gets back to the turf. She very much looks like a progeny of Kitten's Joy. They don't often they're not often the biggest horses. They're also kind of like raw and, you know, not the most defined. And that's exactly what she is. But keep in mind, she did break her maiden for only $32,000 here first time out. She backed it up with a win in an A other than, but still, like Andy said, I'm not convinced that you should take a short price on her. As number 4 Mystic Sea, I like a lot. Look at the horses that she ran against, 2 and 3 back. Fast market and ready for candy, proven stakes horses. She looks incredibly healthy, as she did all summer long when she was running in New York. I think she's a major player here, like the fact that she broke through last time, albeit in an off-the-turf event on the synthetic at Gulfstream, moving back to the turf. I just think she's a better horse now this year as a 4-year-old. Sonia Henny, she's another one that finally broke through. And when I saw her in the summertime, she was kind of hot, kind of washy, and don't get me wrong, it's lovely and 80, so it's warm here. Not hot and washy like she was over the summer. So again, another horse that might just be taking those steps forward mentally and physically, as she does take on winners for the first time. But I did like her effort because I thought she was a bit headstrong and wasting a bit of energy in that last race in the early stages and still had enough to finish. I always think that's some extra credit points with horses. I agree with Andy when it comes to number 8, Frida. Watching that turf race going 5/8 at Gulfstream Park, I like the way she moved over the surface. She moved like a turf horse, but she was always off the bridle. Like she could never just get her feet underneath of her and get into a rhythm going that short of a distance. She's built to handle more ground here. Now it's a very sharp stretch out from the 5/8 to a mile and an eighth, but at least it feels like there is some ability for her to be able to stretch it out, and I do like her sticking to the turf for a second try. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thank you. We'll get back to Tampa momentarily. We return to Aqueduct for the nightcap, 7 minutes to post, where it's a first-time starter for Linda Rice. This one right here, the 11, still favored at 5-2, and again a chance for Flavia Pratt to get number 5 on this Saturday card.
And Princess Jane, her dam, Princess Violet, won the Madison at Keeneland, a grade 1, and she was a very nice runner that won just a little bit under $780,000 in her career. But I mean, there's a lot going on. The 9 Tenacious Child is a McKinsey that cost almost $200,000, is a half to Antonio of Venice, is a solid sprinter. There's an awful lot. The 8, the Miguel Clement horse coming up from Florida, the New York bred.
And we're talking about now the 9 Tenacious Child.
Yeah, I just wanted to sort of get in this whole. I think the 3, the 4, all of these are unusual firsters, I think, to be seeing at this time of the year. And I'm not surprised to see the 8 taking money, you know, shipping up here. And I saw Linda earlier, who thinks that Princess Jane's a nice horse. You know, whether or not she's going to win first time is another story, but certainly thinks she has ability. Whether or not that means she's going to win today, I don't know.
You brought up, this one, sibling to Antonio Venice, who has won over $600,000. 4-time winner, 3 of those New York bred stakes wins. We'll see what this one does at first asking for. Very potent barn, George Weaver. Let's go down to Megan.
Well, speaking of the number 9, as mentioned, and has that pedigree by McKenzie, and one that I just thought needs a start here for the Weaver barn. Not taking quite as much money as I thought this horse would. As mentioned, that pedigree there, a half to an accomplished New York bred Antonio of Venice, who was a New York Sire Series Stakes winner there, but a stout, compact, out-and-out sprinter, which was kind of surprising to me considering the sire on top, as they kind of like to stretch out a bit more as far as those McKenzies are concerned. But just in terms of a physical perspective, a fitness perspective, I think this horse will do better with a start, Greg.
Well, 9-1. We will see how this one fares in the debut. Sahin Savachi will ride.
Maybe somebody will tell him to stop going to the dead rail. Who knows?
Back to Tampa. Mile and an eighth on the turf here. 2-1 favorite Perky Miguel Clement barn. I thought that effort, that second try on the turf, was actually very good.
it was okay. I think this horse is a bad favorite, but she could win. I thought it was a wide open race. I'd probably take the 4-1 and the 4 over the others, but I don't have a strong opinion here.
Jason Beam, the call. Here's the 8th from Tampa Bay.
2. Going to be at Satisfactual, and Mrs. Katz will be all set for a start. Late pick 3 time. They're in the gate. And the race is on. Mystic Sea out well from post 4. Down along the inside, Phoenix of Wit is handy. Those are the top 2 early on. Sonia Henny going to join them up to the outside. A length and a half more back to Frida from the far outside. Now Naughty Favors trying to work over, and also coming up after the lead as they come into the stretch. It's Sonia Henny just in front of Naughty Favors on the outside. These are the 2 that go on. Mystic Sea going to sit back 3rd with Frida her outside 4th. Then comes Phoenix of Wit, who settles down a joint 5th, joined by Authenticate Now. Then there's a line of 4 at the back. Mrs. Katz toward the inside. Perky is in that group, as is It's Satisfactual, and expecting a winner is the trailers. Up front, Naughty Favors quickly scampers to a 3-length lead. Sonia Henny back in the 2nd spot. 2 more then back to Mystic Sea as they string out a touch more here through that first turn. 24.39 seconds. The opening quarter mile. So it's Naughty Favors, Israel Rodriguez. They start their backstretch journey with a 3.5 length advantage over Sonia Henny, who now gets a little closer in 2nd. Mystic Sea is 3rd, traveling well. Down at the inside comes Phoenix of Wit in 4th. Frida is to her outside. Authenticate Now. Perky's moved up a little bit. It's another length to Mrs. Katz, who's 3rd last. Expecting a winner, and It's Satisfactual are the back markers. 49.35 seconds for the opening half mile. Long shot, Naughty Favors. The lead's a neck now as Sonia Henny presses closer. Mystic Sea going to be 3 deep as they run to that turn. Phoenix of Wit, meanwhile, catches the eye toward the inside 4th, just 2 lengths off the lead. Trying to move up is Perky, who's 5th, but pushed along. Authenticate Now trying to go with that one on the outside as they wind around to the top of the stretch. Sonia Henny right up alongside of Naughty Favors. Phoenix of Wit still bottled up in behind. Horse is going to need a seam. Mystic Sea, meanwhile, comes out 3 deep. Authenticate Now and Perky both trying to come on down the outside. Final furlong now. Sonia Henny, Phoenix of Wit trying to get through the 2-hole. Mystic Sea on the outside. Phoenix of Wit got through now to try to come after Sonia Henny. These 2 for the final 50 yards. Phoenix of Wit surges to the front. Phoenix of Wit, Edgar Zayas to win it. Sonia Henny held 2nd. It was close there with Mystic Sea. Mrs. Katz got going late.
Phoenix of Wit finds an opening. Late stages in the stretch. Joe Orsino Barn, Edgar Zayas with another one.
Don't think you can get a better trip than Edgar Zayas gave this horse. Sitting on the fence behind the speed. 6 actually ran very well in there, Sonia Henny. Really took a little bit of a step forward, but this horse just kind of got the right trip and got through to get it done. As nobody picked up a lot of ground except for the 11, who you were talking about a little earlier, and I thought ran okay to be 4th.
All right, we'll bring you those prices momentarily. Back to the nightcap in New York. In our post parade, we start with Signal Chat. Raylu Gutierrez on this huge long shot, the biggest price on the board.
You won't be surprised to hear this one's not covered in the pick 6, Greg.
No, I will not. Boiling Point. Next door, Gary Siaka Barn with Ruben Silvera.
Stumbled forward last time. Might have affected the horse a little negatively. Should be forward, but probably down towards the inside.
Yeah, debut was pretty good, wasn't it? Sugartown Sweetie for Paul Barrow debuts.
I'll tell you, this horse has a little bit of pedigree. I think this horse is not impossible. Matoli, that cost over $100,000. Couple of 2 to 3 foals from the dam could run.
It's a mystery. Who is next? I believe we're going to see the 6 next here in a moment.
Well, your guess is better than mine.
And if it is the 6, Jorge Abreu, hire the hat. Blinkers go on, getting Lasix, and yes, it was. Jose Lezcano aboard here.
I thought the horse's debut was better than the last time where she ran 2nd when she was part of a pace that held together on a track that was speed favoring. She likely has to deal with Boiling Point. I can see why she's taking money. I just don't know how good she is.
It was forward last time out. We'll see if that's the case with the blinkers on today. Queen Sally, big price, blinkers on as well.
Yeah, and this one would have to improve off her Finger Lakes debut.
First-time starter for Miguel Clement. Galinda, the only other foal to race, one first time out.
Yeah, shipped this Good Magic down to Payson, now sending the New York bred back up here to race.
Favored.
Good Magic going 6 furlongs first time out. Probably not for me, but they're betting.
Tenacious Child went by. Princess Jane, the debuter for Linda Rice, the 11.
As I said, I like Tenacious Child. Princess Jane scares me. Both these horses drew well outside.
Kaz Farm Girl was in Stakes Company last start, 68 to 1.
She would have to improve. I agree. She just hasn't done much running. She gets Lasix, as do many.
And there's Jeremiah Englehart's first-time start of the 4, Bose Bella.
It's a lot more turfy on the dam side, the pedigree, but I thought this one's a little dangerous, too, for Jeremiah, taking some nibbles.
Another look at the Linda Rice first-time starter. Let's go down to Megan.
Well, the 11, Princess Jane, taking attention. That big pedigree, as the dam, as mentioned, won the Grade 1 Madison, but Constitution on top there. And this horse is this place big and got some size and some scope to her. One that I think will benefit from getting a sharpening here on debut there for Linda Rice. And there was some shoeing issues. She did lose a shoe on the way over here, and it was corrected here in the paddock. So just something to take note of, an adjustment that had to be made here. But she's beautifully bred. She attracts Flavia Pratt. All systems go. She started her spring and summer and then came back to Belmont after kind of getting a break in July. Not too overly quick, just judging from the work tab, and I haven't been able to see those works. But to me, just one that I think will benefit from a start. But my selection, I wanted to take a little bit of a shot against the favorites with the number 2, Boiling Point, one that was just stumbled and taken out of the race last time out, but has some early speed, as does the 4, I anticipate, who's been sharp, but was reluctant to get on track with the pony, but she has made her way to the gate there. But I'm interested here in the 2 and the 4, but ultimately landed up there on the 2, Greg.
Yeah, 9-1. The debut on a wet track was very good. Went backwards completely with a bad stumble, which you could probably put a line through and start number 2.
It was a funny stumble because she stumbled forward. Maybe it shook her up, but it didn't really, drag her out of the race. So I have mixed feelings. I also don't like her breaking the inside. I think, if in fact she breaks like she did first time and shows her speed, she in the 6 and perhaps a firster could be engaged, and she could be the inside one, which is not where I'd like to be. But she is a generous price.
2 first-time starters taking a lot of money, including the favorite, the 8, Galinda. As the horse breaks through the gate, great job by the starting gate crew to not let the 2, Boiling Point, get away.
You wonder a little after the stumble last time. It's hard to believe they're really related, but then the horse acts up a little bit in the gate, and you see Ruben is off the horse. Nothing happened to scratch the horse unless the vet sees a problem, but better get this race off because it's a little dark out.
Wow, that is as tough a job as there is that I can think of. These members of the starting gate crew, and
I agree with
that could not have felt good to have to try and reel in a 1,000-pound animal, not let this one get away. Great job. Ruben Silvera hops back aboard, and they'll reload. Let's go to Chris Griffin for the nightcap from Aqueduct.
Boiling Point goes in, all set. And they're off. Galinda with early speed, and here's Higher the Hat in between horses, and Higher the Hat is now quickest. Higher the Hat with the lead, Galinda in hot pursuit, and towards the far outside, there's Cas Farm Girl. That's the top trio, with Princess Jane is in settled 4th. Then comes Tenacious Child in 5th. Shoved along towards behind them is Boiling Point and Signal Chat. Then towards the back end of the field, we've got Bose Bella. Then comes Queen Sally, and far back is Sugartown Sweetie. 22.66 for the opening quarter mile. Higher the Hat than Galinda. In hand in full pursuit, and Galinda ready to challenge now. Puts a head in front. Galinda is the leader. Higher the Hat. 3 wide is going to be Cas Farm Girl. Princess Jane is on heels right now. A lot of horse nowhere to go is in 4th, looking for a way through. It's Galinda who's going to take him to a quarter pole, and Galinda is in front. Now Princess Jane is going to find that clear running room in hot pursuit, and Princess Jane is coming after Galinda. It's Princess Jane down the center of the racetrack. Galinda's not going away without a fight. A furlong left to go in a wicked stretch battle. Galinda towards the inside. Princess Jane to the outside. Princess Jane is trying to push on by. Galinda, though, still with the neck in front. Galinda wins it. Galinda wins it over Princess Jane. Then came Cas Farm Girl and Queen Sally in 1 minute 12.02 seconds.
2 first-time starters duking it out down the stretch of the nightcap here, and it goes to Galinda, Miguel Clement Barn, Jamie Rodriguez for Waterville Lake Stables.
And the public got it right. This one had a lot of speed, a good magic first-time starter right up there, out in the best part of the racetrack. You thought right now that Princess Jane was going to be the 5th winner for Flavia Pratt. He sat chilly, he moved outside, she looked like a winner, but she could not get by Galinda. No surprise that a couple of firsters ran 1st and 2nd here by quite a distance, as this had a look of a race where you just probably didn't want the ones with experience, even though a couple long shots ran third and fourth.
So the dam has produced 2 runners, both win at first asking. The second dam was a multiple stakes winning sprinter, so a little pedigree here. Galindo wins first time out and wins it 5-2. For, again, the Miguel Clement Barnes. We get you back to Tampa. Phoenix of Wit takes the 8th on the card in another victory for Edgar Zayas here, teaming up with Joe Orsino and DJ Stable.
Yeah, got a great ride and a great trip and got it done. Edgar Zayas, an excellent rider.
$8 for the win. Sonia Henney, Mystic Sea, complete that trifecta healthy, nearly $170 for 50 cents. We're going to take a timeout. First time starters battling down the stretch. Galinda outduels Princess Jane for the victory to close out this card from Aqueduct.
Some horses are remembered, other horses are passed down like an heirloom. He's the kind of horse that lives in stories, each better than the one before, hardened like a diamond and equally brilliant. He ran 3 straight years at the highest level, and he himself was elite.
Putting on a show in the Preakness. Who's it gonna be? It's gonna be National Treasure.
National Treasure would not be denied. National Treasure wins the Pegasus World Cup. In the blink of an eye has opened up a 5-length advantage. So 1-horse race. National Treasure.
There's a brilliance in the way he moved and a tenacity in how he finished. By quality road with a wealth of family, and he raced like he knew it. National Treasure, the key to quality.
You bet with NYRA Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the NYRA Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the NYRA Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with NYRA Bets.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you.
Back with you on our Fox Sports 2 coverage. You're watching America's Day at the Races. Galinda debuts, and not just impressive to win first time out, but doing it in style, out battling another impressive first timer in Princess Jane.
And they went 3/5 of a second, faster than Nina Kay, who seems to run buyer figures in the low 70s. So this number comes back pretty good. These are a couple of very nice looking New York-bred 3-year-old fillies starting their careers with a lot of room to move forward, and horses we could easily be hearing from. Do you think they'll both be in the Bowery up in probably in Saratoga, Belmont Stakes Racing Festival weekend? You're already excited for
Looking a little far ahead, but yeah, why not?
Well, that's one of the first big stakes, right, for them on that New York-bred showcase day. These are nice horses.
What do we have, 51 days of Saratoga this summer?
Oh, total?
I believe.
Sounds right. We running 4 or 5 Belmont week?
Galinda outdueling Princess Jane to close things out on this Saturday card. And Flavien Prat coming up just shy of a 5th winner on the card.
Yeah. The guy, obviously, he's washed up.
8, 11, 12, 7. So Miguel Clement, Jamie Rodriguez, Waterville Lake Stables, the victory. You're going to be signing off? You're going to stick around to watch the end of the show, right?
No.
How did I know that was your answer?
You're
back tomorrow?
I am going to see my mom.
Okay, so you're off. We'll see you next week.
I will see you next Thursday.
All right.
On Talking Horses, I think. You're doing Talking Horses on Thursday.
Thank you. Please give me reminders going forward. $7.20 for the win. Does help if I get a schedule.
I'm just letting you know now, so I don't want
8,
to hear
11,
excuses.
12, big price underneath. And the pick 6, $5,798. Pick 5 comes back just over $2,400. I speak for everyone in America when I say, Andy, we're going to miss you. Well, we'll see you next week. Megan Burgess going to join me after a timeout. A little recap of where she was stationed out in Hot Springs for the Oakland Park Holiday Meet. Stay with us. She'll join me on the desk right after this timeout. Back with you on our Saturday coverage on Fox Sports 2. You're watching America's Day at the Races. Gainesway Power Passion Performance. Proud to have them as a sponsor. Card in the books. In New York, it was Galinda out-dueling Princess Jane for the win to close things out. Joining me on the desk, as promised, Megan Burgess. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad I got to spend some quality time with you and Andy today. Very excited.
And you are just back from having spent that holiday meet out in Hot Springs. We're going to send you back. When do you go back again?
Go back on Monday, and I'm so excited. The hospitality and the racing has been incredible. I can't wait for our very own Richard Migliori to join me as we commence the the classic meet, Southwest weekend. So lots of stakes action ahead of us, but it was just from top to bottom, the hospitality, the crew. It was an incredible experience, and I can't wait to go back. It's going to be great.
Well, let's look at some of the meet stats and what transpired over that compact holiday meeting. Steve Asmussen reaching a historic number. On track attendance in 13 days, over 104,000 came out to watch the races. And we love all these horses coming in from all parts of the country. That makes, I think, some of the most competitive racing we have anywhere all year long.
It is a handicapping puzzle. It's a challenge, but it's so much fun when you get to figure those races out. And you're exactly right. It's a melting pot of different form from different jurisdictions there at Oakland Park. We've got Midwest. We've got horses coming in from New York. We've got horses coming from everywhere. So it's definitely a fun challenge. And I really felt the attendance there around me just when everybody was really showing up. And I thought that this type of configuration with the holiday and the classic meet, I think even brought it up to a new level of those field sizes and that nature. So it was great.
We know this trainer is going to get his numbers anywhere he goes, especially at Oaklawn, and a historic win for him happened over the holiday meet.
Absolutely. Steve has just been all class, and he is Mr. Oaklawn Park there, of course, with the late Dwayne Lucas getting his 1,000th career victory. He joked that he wasn't going to get it until the late February because that's typically how things go when trainers or jockeys or connections are on the cusp of that big milestone. Sometimes you can dwell, but he did not dwell. He had a fantastic holiday meet. Some really nice horses run well and some stakes victories there. A memorable one in the coach. And just, as always, doing his business at Oaklawn Park.
I believe fourth different track where he has collected 1,000 career victories. Just amazing for the all-time winningest trainer in North American history. Meanwhile, the 3-year-old picture, we love that series they have out in Hot Springs, the first of 4 Derby preps to Smarty Jones, and it was strategic risk for Mark Casse running away from his stablemate, among others, for the victory in here. And now a horse that seems probable for the Southwest.
He just tremendous tour de force effort there for Mark Casse. He was able to break away from those Florida breds and take that step up into open company in great regard. Huge stride. I think he'll move forward as the distances progress in the Derby picture. Thought Silent Tactic ran a very, very, very well taking to the dirt, and Mark had mentioned he'll be maybe targeting an allowance confidence booster, but we'll expect to see strategic risk there in the Southwest, which is shaping up to be competitive.
And his stablemate, we can't wait to see too from that first crop of Nick Sko Ewing. Looking at the Rebel, probably going to get an allowance race for him as sort of a bridge to get to the Rebel.
I believe he's targeting the Ozark, which we should find there, I believe in February 1st or 2nd week of February, before, of course, the big target for him stretching out in distance in the Rebel. But we should be able to see him there in the Ozark sprinting before, of course, he ventures out to more ground. But it's going to be a really exciting and enticing road as we continue on to Louisville. Dakota, a very impressive maiden winner there, looking to target the Southwest. And we might even see Rancho Santa Fe come back. We'll see how that plays out for Brad Cox after a little bit of a disappointment in the Smarty Jones.
Big mystery. Everyone's waiting to hear what this was. Your moment of the meet. It's the unveiling right now. What was it for you?
Well, top to bottom, it was fantastic, but it seemed like everything Mark Casse touched turned to gold. And it was just very impressive, the 2-year-old display, the tour de force, 3 winners there on that December the 27th card with just one after another, and strong Beyer speed figure. Search Party started it off there with a strong 81 Beyer speed figure, then French Friction. I mean, she was very impressive. Looks like one that will stretch out beautifully with an impressive victory. And Counting Stars off of short turnaround, stretching out in distance, and put that field away. I thought she was one of the highlights for me, and just being able to follow these horses in person has been a real treat. The Casse barn, the hospitality has been fantastic. So Mark Casse has been unstoppable, and despite him and Steve Asmussen being really tied up there at the top as far as wins and total, I mean, the sample size of what Casse has delivered, just a winner it seems turning out. It's been really impressive to watch, and he's got some big-time stable stars, Greg, that I think will deliver even more wins as the meet continues to progress.
A meet high, 4 stakes wins, Mark Casse. He was 11 for 23. Incredible run coming off. It shows this game's tough. I mean, he's coming off a meet where he really struggled, but seemed to make every right decision at that holiday meet. As we take a quick look here at Tampa, we'll be back with more 9 minutes away from this 9th on the card. Maiden special weight, all trying to get that first win on the resume coming up. 6 furlong sprint. When we return, we'll have the post parade. Stay with us.
Prince of Monaco's Too Good for Moose, an impressive winner of the Best Pal. Miramondi's all hot, but Prince of Monaco Too Good.
Prince of Monaco, standing at Claiborne Farm.
This winter, give the gift of racing with NYRA Bets gift cards. Share your passion with friends and family, or instantly fund your account. Choose the amount and redeem online. Find gift cards under the promotions tab at NYRABets.com.
Say hi to our new stallion, Highland Falls. From his winning debut to that spectacular Jockey Club Gold Cup.
It is Highland Falls. He wins another one, this time the Jockey Club Gold Cup.
Even his buyer was high. The race his sire made his own by a widening 4 lengths. A host of Grade 1 winners far behind. High and Goodbye. Running a 107 when second in an All-Star Whitney. The rise and rise of Highland Falls. High class, on the track and on the page. This is his dam, winning the Acorn and then the Distaff. Aim high, breed to a well-bred son of Curlin. Highland Falls, new to Darley.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
Back with you on our Saturday coverage, and we return to Tampa Bay Downs. Race 9 set for the post parade here momentarily, where I believe it's Chit Chat, the 5 favored Bill Mott, first-time starter, filly by City of Light, and we'll see in a moment. We start with Miss Winnie, long shot from the inside.
Yeah, Barn just 1 for 48 past 5 years with firsters, likely needs it.
Start number 5, but first time on dirt next door for Inspire Courage.
Decently bred. I assume a little bit better on dirt. We'll see. Second dam was a winner on turf and dirt.
Michael Yates Barn with Adios Tootsie taking a little bit of money.
Little Florida bred. Sire strong 17% with those 3-year-old and older first-time starters. So interesting at a price.
Sam Camacho on Get a Hold of Yourself debuting.
Get a hold of yourself, Greg. First foal to race out of the dam. The work tab, though, on paper suggests a start would do her some good.
I'm a lost cause, Megan. Chit Chat, here's the favorite for Belmont.
Flashy connections, a homebred by City of Light, and sire decent with first-time starters, but strong in dirt sprints. We'll see how she fares on debut.
Several very quick works for the debuter here, Osplexity.
I was intrigued by this horse. By complexity, better routing, but strong number sprinting. I think could do some damage there at a decent price, 8-1.
Pay attention. This one, first timer taking money, Princess Vacoma.
Sprint forward pedigree. The Vacomas are quick early types. The dam was a winner on grass and dirt, all sprinting.
Another first-time starter next door. This one by Maximus Mischief.
Yeah, Barn looking for a breakthrough. 0 for the last 43 and past 3 years. Dismal with their first-time starters as well.
April Spun's debut came on turf.
Yeah, it gets to the dirt, but pedigree not overly turf meant, so should be interesting here on the main track.
Homebred for Glen Hill Farm and Tom Proctor, May Gray.
Yeah, as Maggie mentioned earlier in the program, Tom Proctor has a tremendous meet. Didn't have as much in Saratoga, so nice to see him kind of getting off the ground there for Glen Hill Farm.
And that's your field, 11 and 12 scratched here. So 5 minutes away from race 9, where it's this Bill Mott first-time starter. The 5, Chit Chat, the 1 to beat. You can play all the action right there at NYRA Bets. Get signed up, started. You'll get that $200 deposit match new customer bonus when you put in that code at sign up, bonus 200. And bet any track, anywhere, anytime at NYRABets.com. Let's go to Maggie for more on the 9th.
Yeah, we'll take a look here as we have a plethora of first-time starters, and the one taking the most money coming out of the Bill Mott barn, and that is number 5, Chit Chat in here. Now, despite having a pedigree that screams dirt sprinter, that's the last thing she looks like. She's quite long and lanky and really lacks a good bit of conditioning across her top line, across her hindquarters. Now, with that being said, she does look incredibly fit here, and she's been by far the most professional filly. She does exude a good deal of class. As you go back, the second dam, Sweet Nanetta, multiple stakes winning dirt sprinter, and she does come in here with a work tab littered with quick breezes. Like I said, professional, warming up well, just wish she looked a bit stronger. Number 6, I'll try to get it out, Osplexity, caught my eye from the moment she walked in front of me here on the racetrack on her way to the paddock for 2 reasons. One is that she's big and she's incredibly good looking. The other is that she's just been a complete handful. Now, I'm going to pick her with a little bit of trepidation because she's been with the pony the entire time. They did struggle to get the tack on her. They got it done. They struggled to get the jockey up. They got that done. And she's actually behaving much better now that she has the rider and her pony out on the racetrack. But she looks incredibly fit here for Terry Pompey. You know, you go back a little bit with this pedigree. The Dam, she is a full sister to Malibu Mint, a multiple graded stakes winning dirt sprinter, actually won the Grade 1 Princess Rooney. And I know it was a while ago, back in June, but they picked her up for $70,000. She did work 10 and 1, which isn't that quick, but I just liked the way she moved. She really pushed off the ground well and covered a good deal of space with her stride. So I'm going to land on her as she is 7-1. But as Greg mentioned, number 7, Princess Vekoma, taking a good bit of money, and the Vekomas have just continued to impress from the start of the 2-year-old season, spilling over to these horses turning newly 3-year-olds, and they win early oftentimes. Very fit looking as Princess Vekoma. She's been professional. She just looks as though she has her mind on business. Does show up wearing blinkers first time out here as Sammy Marin, obviously enjoying a very good start to the Tampa Bay Downs meet, as he typically does, but she's definitely live, sitting up there at 4-1. Greg?
Yeah, and clicks down even another half notch here, down to 7-2. So I want to keep your eyes on this first-time starter for Rodolfo Garcia, as we are 2 minutes to post. Back to the 6, Osplexity. Maggie talked about this one as well. I know you like, and we see several bullet drills in the morning.
It's always encouraging when Maggie really likes one in the paddock, but also when she states that horses maybe not acting with their mind on business. But I just thought this was the kind of race where perhaps the number 5 taking some default money for some high-profile connections in Bill Mott there with Edgar Zayas, and I just wanted to take a bit of a shot against the favorite, especially one that has had a steady work tab there for her trainer, and one that her dam, as mentioned, was winless in one start, but a full sister to Grade 1 winner Malibu Mint. This filly a half to Auspicious Babe, who was 3 for 15 routing on dirt. So we'll see if she can get her mental acuity a little bit more focused up, as it seems she settled a little bit more on track. But
meanwhile, the most experienced runner in the field, Maggie, making a surface switch. That's the 2, Inspire Courage.
That's right, Greg. And I do find number 2, Inspire Courage, rather interesting here as she goes out from Atkins and tries the dirt for the first time. She's changed quite a bit from when I saw her over the summer at Saratoga in her debut, in that, you know, she's just developed. She's gotten so much stronger behind the saddle, and she was kind of a long, lanky frame, where now she's filled it out and she's become more of a compressed accordion, if you will, than a stretched out one. So hinting to me that this spot actually might be good for her, as she doesn't have the proverbial turf hoof. She's quite upright in her pasterns, and she just, from an overall perspective, looks great. As yes, there's a bit more turf pedigree, but the second dam, Gilded Gold, she was a graded stakes place dirt sprinter in addition to being a multiple stakes winning turf sprinter. And the dam also have to Thieves Gold, again a little bit more turf, but it's kind of that swing pedigree where I feel it as though it could go either way, and I love her appearance / the experience and the price up there at 9-1, but I am sticking with Osplexity. As number 10, May Gray, as we said, Tom Proctor having a great meet so far. Now this one is actually bred to be a little bit more turf meant, so maybe it's counterintuitive in a positive way that he opts to put her here on the dirt first time out, but still I get the feeling with looking at her that this is just a race to get a tightener. She's very good looking. She was very classy acting and professional in the lead up to this first start, but one I'll just watch with curiosity to see how she handles this surface first time out. Greg.
All right, Maggie, thank you. Yeah, what a start to this meet for Tom Proctor. 56% win rate early on. Not bad.
Not bad at all. And as I mentioned, you know, he just didn't seem to get the ball rolling. Saratoga is such a difficult meet. So coming here to Tampa and getting things going is just a positive sign for any trainer.
9-5 favorite. It remains chit-chat for Bill Mott, and a field with a lot of first-time starters. You know, back to that, too, real quick, who Maggie touched on. making the surface switch. Never know how they did it. You can earn a bullet drill and be all out and look awful doing it, but at least a couple encouraging works numbers-wise. A bullet drill, and then before that, third quickest of 84. Maybe the horse can handle the dirt.
6 and 2 for me in this group. I'm a sucker for a turn back in general. She does get Lasix. I like her at a price with key experience with that first time ever. Yeah, just generalized with her priors, and she was interesting to me in this race, especially at 9-1, and especially with a bit of dirt there in the pedigree. I don't think she's overtly turf meant.
Not a lot of love for you or Maggie for Chit Chat, who's been favored throughout, 8-5 right now.
As I mentioned, just feels like a default candidate, and this horse could easily just run out there and beat these. But to me, I'm watching with interest. This horse can beat me at a short price, but I'm looking elsewhere in a field where I think there's some things to figure out about some others that just appeared more interesting to me, both physically there with Maggie's comments, but on paper as well.
It'll look pretty good warming up on the track, but you should if you're the 8-5 favorite. First time out here, City of Light Philly, and the 7 breaking through the gate, but luckily not getting far away at all. That was Princess Vacoma. So we'll see if that's just bring this one right back around, and that appears to be the case.
Are they trying to mimic our finale here at Aqueduct?
Such a tough job these people have to be in that starting gate, and great job here as well to not let this one get away. Sammy Marin never even got off this filly, and it looks like they'll load back up. So Jason beamed the call. Here's race 9 at Tampa.
And Princess Vacoma now going up and backing away. Now she's gone in. Inspire Courage goes forward. Here's Adios Tootsie. Muffin Thief to gate 8. Adios Tootsie. Siggy Golabruch on this first-time starter. Here's April Spun. Get a hold of yourself. They'll be the next 2. And the final pair going to be Chit Chat, who is the favorite, at 3-2. And to the outside, May Gray. May Gray, who I'm assuming was born in May. Chit Chat still not quite in. Now goes forward. May Gray to the outside. May Gray going up. She backs away momentarily. Another first-time starter. Again, 8 firsters here in this field. May Gray once again moving up. And this time going in. And they're all in the gate. And the race is on. Muffin Thief came away last. May Gray came away sharply. Adios Tootsie driving through in the red colors is the quickest, though. Osplexity going to try to go with that one. Princess Vacoma broke sharply as 3rd as May Gray now settles back 4th. Inspire Courage in the green colors to the inside is 5th. Moving with that one is Get a Hold of Yourself. April Spun is back running in the 7th position. Chit Chat is 8th early on, about 8 lengths off the top. It's 4 more then back to Miss Winnie. And the slow start has Muffin Thief at the back. As they run to the far turn, Adios Tootsie. Siggy Golabruch, foot on the gas pedal through an opening quarter, 21.74 seconds. They lead it by a length. Chasing is Osplexity. Princess Vacoma out 4 deep from 3rd. In and amongst horses, May Gray is looking for a seam, heading down to the 3 path. Meanwhile, Inspire Courage going to hold that rail position. Chit Chat starting to meander through horses is up to about 6th now and about 4 behind. Adios Tootsie still leads him around to the top of the stretch. Princess Vacoma, the first challenge up on the outside. May Gray's down toward the fence. Adios Tootsie with something left. A final furlong left to go. It's Adios Tootsie, May Gray trying to come through down along the inside. Then comes Princess Vacoma. Chit Chat stalled out back and forth. Final 16 to go. Adios Tootsie still there. Adios Tootsie. Gate 2 wire. May Gray was 2nd. Princess Vacoma 3rd. Chit Chat was 4th.
3-10-7-5. Adios Tootsie, first-time starter with the victory here in the 9th at Tampa.
Quick Florida bred here for the Michael Yates barn, and one that just 3 works off a bit of a break. There are some gaps in her tab, but that sharp 47-4 there on December the 14th, she meant business, and one that shook off some pretty decent field here and ran well.
First time out, Michael Yates barn, and it's all first-time starters. in the top 4. The only 2 who had experience, it was on the grass or on synthetic. And we'll see with Chit Chat, who was fairly far back early, started to make a move in some traffic, but then winds up 4th. If she can make some progress and start number 2 for Bill Mott. But it's Adios Tootsie with a victory here in race 9. 1:10.3 final time. And yeah, there is an inquiry sign that has been posted, and we'll try and figure out what's going on here.
Yeah, let's see what maybe Maggie can dig up there as well, but kind of got a bit, I mean, around the, down the lane, I guess it kind of got a little crowded there, but we'll see if it implicates the winner here as we get more information.
Inquiry and objection now here at Tampa, so we'll see who this involves. Well, we don't have much at this point to show you until we see it again here. Again, 3:10.75. Here's one more look.
Inquiry and objection in here. From the 10 lodged against the winner. So we'll watch the 10 and the 3 here, I believe, is who's involved in this.
Blue cap with that white blaze, your eventual winner, the 3. Do things get tight here with that runner to the inside?
Doesn't appear so. Let's see if she drifts to the point of... I don't see anything at all either.
Earlier.
Might be perhaps
the
earlier
10
on.
who's lobbed the ejection.
2 against the 10 here. 2 against the 10, so it does not implicate our winner, the number 3, so 2 and 10.
We can't see much from this, so I think we'll get back to it later. Let's take a timeout. Adios Tootsie, first-time starter with the win at 6-1. Minor placings hanging in the balance. Stay with us. Back on our Saturday coverage, America's Day at the Races. We can never get enough of Gasper here. Inquiry and objection, by the way, nothing has been resolved yet with your runner-up finisher, the 10 May Gray, and that's who it involves. The 10 interfering with the 2 who did not place. Your winner, not involved. Adios Tootsie, first time out, gets the victory. Let's go to Maggie.
And I'm here with Siggy Goli Berzuk. Nailed it!
That was perfect. Perfect.
We've been having a lot of fun here sitting in the winner's circle, but let's talk about Adios Tootsie. She was so impressive. Took them all the way.
Yes, she's really been a cool filly to be a part of, and she's scary fast is the easiest way to put it. I mean, and I could just, when a horse came, I could feel it, and she just, yeah, she did it all on her own. All I did was get out of her way, to be honest. So
she didn't want to let anybody by her.
And she's so little. Even the pony boy was like, she's so little. I said, but she be mighty. And she was. She really was today. So, I mean, the effort that everybody put into it, that was great. And horses don't lie. It came out in her today. So
It did, and I love the fact that you said to me, hold on one second, and you had to give her a little kiss. You guys obviously have a rapport and relationship working with her in the morning.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I first got introduced to her at the farm from Michael, and so when we came here, and I've been a part of her growing up, and my fiance, she gallops her, so, and Mr. Mike, of course, he does a great job, so it made it easy for me to just hang on this afternoon, you know.
Teamwork, making the dream work. Well, Siggy, it's been a pleasure. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. You guys have a good evening.
I love meeting new people at the track, and Siggy, I'm a big fan of Greg.
And just as Maggie was throwing it back to us, they finally did make a decision. They made a change. So the 10, your runner-up finisher, taken down and placed off the board. So new order of finish now, 3, 7, 5, 8, 2.
The 10 was disqualified to place 6th in this effort. I wish we had a better visual of this, unfortunately, but change was made. They took a while, and typically when they do so, it means that they did make a change, and that's exactly what happened.
All right, so impressive first-time winner there in that 9th at Tampa. Going to close things out on the grass. Let's bring you the prices first before we look ahead. $15.40 for the win. Princess Vacoma, Chit Chat. Second and third, that trifecta, $56.40 for 50 cents.
I mean, as Siggy had mentioned, she was quick and took them all the way. And I have to agree with Mag. It's so fun when I get to Oakland. I haven't seen or met a lot of these people either, so it's always fun kind of figuring out the connections and their stories. Always a blast.
It's lonely up here on the desk. I spend so much time with Andy. That's about it.
Are you excited to have
We've become best friends.
Yes,
I said he's like my work wife. Mile and a 16th on the grass, maiden special weight. And the Palace Girl is not going to remain 25-1. 7-2 morning line for Will Walden, who we'll tell you more about in a minute, making start number 2 in the U.S.
Is that a typo? 25-1?
It's
Very
early.
Interesting there. But first start in the U.S., they paid $2 million. There we go. 6-1 there. There we are. But they paid $2 million for this horse at the mare's sale. And wow, regally bred and draws the rail. But I'm very interested to see this horse getting even more distance off that mile try at Keeneland.
Celtic Motive, Chad Brown faced Nitrogen on the grass. Integrated Stake is a maiden, and she was arguably the best turf filly in the land. She might be crowned, I would expect she will be crowned champion 3-year-old filly in less than 2 weeks' time.
It's going to be really tough there for the number 7. To me, holds the class edge on this group. Very nice figure. I mean, a 78 buyer speed figure last time out. Got a little bit of time away. And Chad Brown, he really employs his better turf horses at Tampa. And one that I think has talent there in the number 7. But this green stuff I'm not as familiar with. It's weird seeing a turf race. I got to it and I thought, wow, this is interesting.
We forget what it's like, having not been here. It's with the cold weather here in New York. Palace Girl, Will Walden barn, major player, making an equipment change, blinkers on. It was just a few years ago. Will Walden was homeless, battling addiction. Today, he's turning heads as a graded stakes winning trainer, competing at the highest level in the sport and doing it with a barn full of people that he has helped pull from the same darkness that he escaped.
When I walked through the doors of Stable Recovery for the last time, I was done. Like, I was so beaten and broken as a man that I pulled out the white flag and I waved it.
Unfortunately, it takes a level of pain for people to become willing to do the things to learn how to stay sober. And he called me, and literally the only 2 words out of his mouth were, "I'm ready."
The journey to sobriety is not an easy one.
No, it's not. It's a road paved with a bunch of potholes. Stable recovery. It's really just subtly introduce him to the healing powers of the horse. That horse never looks you in the eye and judges you for the past you have or what you've done. It touches the soul in a way that very few things can, and it's really cool to watch that light bulb go off.
Will's success is something that I knew he was capable of years ago. He didn't know he was capable of that. He has always gone out of his way to try to help people that are suffering.
These guys, a lot of them have been through stable recovery. The thing about this barn is, you know, obviously with me in recovery, these guys feel safe. They know I'm gonna hold them accountable. If I see you slipping, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna have a one-on-one and we're gonna talk about it. And also at the same time, we can help build each other up. It's an ongoing thing. You gotta get to that bottom. And I did, and you know, just blessed we're on the road we're on now.
Inspiring to see him turn his not just forget career, his life around, but to see him pay it forward too.
I mean, absolutely. He really does lift up those around him. And I think especially when it comes to sobriety and that incredibly difficult road that he has gone down, he's really given opportunities to the others being able to work for him there in the barns. And I just will never forget Rhetorical winning there at Keeneland. It was an incredibly special just for the entire crew. And then obviously to go on to the Breeders' Cup. I didn't fare that day, but I'm a homer for those New York Breds as well. So it's pretty awesome to see them and just the emotion that brought to a well-deserved team.
Saw his really coming out party at Saratoga with those back-to-back wins, including the West Point. And then there was so much, he ran so good. A New York bred stakes winner. He's going to go into Grade 1 company next time out. Everyone was kind of questioning that move from Will Walden. Well, he backed it up with that win and then backed it up again in the Breeders' Cup. 4th beat just 2 lengths. And good for Will Walden, who is really starting to produce at the highest level in the sport.
And connecting with Woodford Thoroughbreds, who owns the #1 that we will see here at Tampa Bay, but has been a supporter of him. He's had some pretty strong connections, really believe in him, giving him that horse flesh, giving him those opportunities, and he has paid those dividends. And it's just incredible to see his journey and his story that I know I love, and I love to follow his success.
We talked about the filly he will send out in this nightcap coming up at Tampa. What do you think of the Palace Girl?
I really like this individual. She's expensive. She's out of a Grade 1, or she's, I believe, out of a Grade 1 winner there for Woodford Thoroughbreds, who sourced her from overseas in Ireland. I mean, she was behind the likes of Giselle there for Aidan O'Brien. She's got some classy form lines, but this is a pretty tough maiden special weight here to cap things off at Tampa. I'm very interested to see what happens here.
She'll break from the inside. Edgar Zayas will look for yet another after a terrific Saturday already to this point. 7-1 right now on the Palace Girl for Will Walden. We'll have the post parade for you in this finale when we come back.
Now 650. I'm paying 650. I'm paying 650,000. Not anybody else wants 650,000. Not a minute. $1,650,000. $1,600,000. Thank you.
You bet with NYRA Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the NYRA Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the NYRA Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with NYRA Bets.
And it's lights out, locked, pouring it on, running aggressively through the stretch to win by 7 easy lengths.
Here is Locked. Locked racing by on the outside for the lead. Locked
The wine steward, it is locked.
Here comes Locked after Mulligan. Locked catching with every single stride, and Locked will win the Cigar Mile.
It's all about Locked dominating the big cap, cruising home to an effortless 8-length romp.
Well, we've been here since 1910. Started here with my great-grandfather. They moved the operation from Virginia to present-day Claiborne in Paris, Kentucky. Long lineage between my grandfather, Bull Hancock, who was really influential in importing European stallions. And those stallions ended up kind of transcending the American bloodstock, and they're still evident and prevalent throughout the pedigrees today. My father, he had Mr. Prospector. He brought him up from Florida. He's had Danzig. Obviously, Secretariat was his first stallion that he ever syndicated, so he caught lightning in a bottle right off the bat, and I'm trying to do the same thing now. Certainly, we've come along and been really lucky and gotten some really good stallions along the way. Warfront's obviously in the sunset of his career. He's been unbelievable for us. We're looking for someone to fill his shoes, and we're excited about Mindframe. We think he can be that next big horse for us. Annapolis has had his first foals on the ground, and they're looking unbelievable. Certainly Prince of Monaco, he has his first that are in utero, and we're looking forward to those foals in the spring. We've had a lot of wonderful clients over the years that have really supported us and backed us, and that's been one of the main reasons why we've had the success we've had. We couldn't do it without them. It's hard to be in business for 115 years if you're not doing things the right way. Our motto is do the usual and usually well, and we've always felt like if you take care of the horse is going to take care of you, and we've certainly been lucky in that regard.
Proud to have them as a sponsor. Can't talk about this sport with the impact that they have had. Claiborne Farm, 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well, as we get set for this finale on our show and at Tampa. It's going to close things out. Mile and a 16th on the turf. Everyone trying to get that first career win in this maiden special weight. For fillies and mares 4 and up, it's the 7 Megan. Chad Brown's filly, who is the favorite right now.
As expected, I expected her to be bet down there at the 2-1 morning line that she was, as we take a look at that effort last time out at Aqueduct, where she was kind of that forwardly placed type. She's mid-range. I like her tactical ability there at the mile, where they weren't crawling on the front end. Eventually, every vote counts got the better, who has not been able to come back just yet, but ran on. To me, one that I think distance and getting this mile and a 16th should suit. And as I mentioned, you mentioned the form lines. They thought enough when she was with Brendan Walsh to put her in the Florida Oaks. She's had class. They're out of that dam that was exclusively campaigned on the turf. So turf through and through, and I'm anxious to see how she's able to take a step forward there off that last out effort.
She was group placed already in her career as a maiden over in Ireland, but then she came to the U.S. She was odds on. State's debut, she got beat at Gulfstream, so short price again here, although not quite that short. Not odds on, she's 2-1. We'll see if she can get that first win coming up. Is Chad Brown, of course, one of 3 finalists for Outstanding Trainer. Looking to go back-to-back, and it would be a 6th career win for him, but all 3 extremely deserving.
Extremely deserving there. Belmont with just a marquee year, and one that I find with just what his year has been and putting together. I mean, a Breeders' Cup Distaff winner in Scylla, of course, Sovereignty, Horse of the Year. So he should likely, to me, be the trainer that lands on top here. But each very deserving. Chad Brown, of course, capturing his first Whitney there at Saratoga this year. Very memorable for him. A race that he's always wanted to capture. So I will say, though, Todd Pledger had a fantastic year. While he's not a finalist up there, man, did he put together a strong year. So it's always competitive up there at the top as far as the trainers are concerned, but Belmont certainly having a memorable one for sure.
Post parade coming up for this finale. And we'll get a look at this Chad Brown filly. Not often when especially when he has a good one. And obviously this one's already shown that she has some talent, that it takes 8 starts to get that first win, although a couple of starts have been a great Stakes company.
She's been tossed in, and I think sometimes when you get horses that you know have class and you know have ability, and then they fall a little bit short, you kind of play the guessing game of, okay, what's gone wrong. But that near miss on debut there at Gulfstream, I mean, that was a very decent race. A fast market came out of that race to be a Stakes type, and she was beaten neck that day, and she's one that has been able to improve there off of the time. So I expect her to bring it once again here at the Mile and a 16.
Will Walden's The Palace Girl just went by. Here's Miss Valentina.
Yeah, one that second time out gets more experience, but will have to get much faster to meet this group.
Spinning class, Sunny Leone for Shug McGahee.
I thought this one was interesting, though. She hasn't done a lot of running late, but second off, a bit of time away.
Last couple of starts been productive for this long shot.
Yeah, Money Trail there for the Vincent barn, and has been just off of it, one that could get there at a price.
Bill Mott runner, Queen Dancing with Daniel Centeno.
Yeah, Dan was a grade 1 winner there, routing on turf, so certainly has the pedigree, beautifully bred.
Graham Motion with Fronte making the States debut.
And a bridesmaid over there in Europe. We'll see if they can make the breakthrough, but working well at Palm Meadows.
There's the Chad Brown favorite.
Yeah, and taking favoritism as she was expected to, looking to bounce back off that last effort.
Shug McGahee barn and the turf debut, Reality Star.
Yeah, have to kind of a okay horse, but I mean, not overly turf men on paper. We'll see how this fares.
Riley Mott, chance to go against his dad with Thames.
Yeah, I'm interested in this horse. Put in a decent effort two back and hopefully be able to move forward off some decent maiden special weight tries.
Runner-up in the last race, Tom Proctor, Glen Hill Farm. They have Pop Art.
Another that facts and figures alone, I think, could give your favorite a scare.
And big price outside, Black Darter.
Yeah, big price. To me, a little bit more dirt on paper, stretching out and getting to the grass for the very first time.
4 minutes to post to close things out on the Saturday card at Tampa. Fans enjoyed a fantastic day of racing with those back-to-back stakes races. Drexel Hill did not disappoint.
No, and ran incredibly well. A horse that I've been a fan of. I thought she ran well, of course, in that Kentucky Oaks. But I will say I am jealous of the weather. But Mag has put in some time here at Aqueduct, and it was rainy. But I will say Oaklawn has spoiled me with the weather. So I guess it was my time to go out there and at the Mecca and
you held up
well.
Little,
yeah, it was okay. Wasn't too long.
Here's Fronte for Graham Motion, and her 4-year-old debut coming up. She's been off since August, coming in from Goodwood.
Yeah, out of that Master Craftsman mare who was grade 2 placed in going long on the dirt in a half to Heredia, also trained by Graham Motion there, who's a grade 2 winner at routing. So beautiful pedigree, won a family that, of course, Graham Motion is familiar with, been training well. To me, this is the horse that I landed on in this race that I thought had the ability to perhaps upset a horse like the number 7.
Let's go to Maggie with more on the nightcap.
Yeah, I agree. This is a pretty interesting race. A field full of good-looking fillies in here as, yes, I respect a Celtic motif for Chad Brown, but let's take a look at that horse that Meg was talking about that cost over $2 million. And that is number 1, the Palace Girl. As I was talking with Will Walden in the paddock, and he said, I was bidding against Colmore, which didn't help my cause, but it made me feel better because then the next day they went to Arcana and bought the Dam, and they've also since bought the sister to the Palace Girl, and she is beautiful. I mean, you can see why the money landed on her. She has a lovely way of going too, and watching that first race, it almost seemed as though it was her debut. And it was her debut, to be fair, in America, where she blew the break, and yes, Johnny kind of did what he could with the hand he was dealt, and he was mid-pack, he was about in the 2 path, and when they turned for home, he was just kind of in and amongst and behind horses, and never really had a true clear seam. if he had more horse, I think he could have gone through there, but she didn't want to give it to him. And as Will said, it just felt as though she was looking around and intimidated. So the short cup cheater blinkers are going on today. I'm going to try with her because she really wowed me in the paddock. And Will said that her works have really gone on since that first start at Keeneland since then. Moving on to number 6, Veranti, 4 Grand Motion. Love what I saw from her as well as she sits up there at 7-2. But as we talk about, you know, oftentimes the gate here in America, it's a little bit of an issue for these European horses just because they're not used to, you know, leaving as quickly as our horses do or having handlers in there. But with her, if you look at the comment lines, she has been forwardly placed in her European races. And while I kind of question the overall quality of the field she's faced, she matches up really nicely, at least physically, with the crew she meets here for her stateside debut. She's beautiful. And another one that's moving incredibly well. It is kind of looking around a bit. You know, I wonder if she's a bit distracted. She's not acting badly by any means, but just the head has been up and she's been looking everywhere ever since she stepped foot in the paddock. Number 10, Pop Art. I thought she ran well in her first start on the turf for Tom Proctor. She broke handily, then she kind of got steady behind the leader at the 5/16 pole and lost ground at a crucial part as they, you know, entered the stretch. And then when she got outside, she re-rallied again. And boy, does she look so, you know, turf meant in addition to longer is better. She's going to try a mile and a 16th here again, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is a filly that going forward excels at a mile and an 1/8, if not more. So I do think she deserves a look here. She is taking some money at 5-1. And then my bomb of all bombs, I have to give a little shout out to my guy, Nick Hessler, as he does send out Black Darter here. Pedigree here, Greg. Go back a generation. The second dam on this filly is Caress, who's a multiple graded stakes winning turf mare. And this filly does look turf meant. Probably in a bit tough here, to be fair, but at least I think she'll appreciate this surface switch.
So a 90-1 shot. Parting thoughts from Maggie here. Interesting. Maybe one to at least throw in underneath if you're building your tickets for this nightcap. But all the money on the 7 here. Easy to see why for Chad Brown, Sammy Marin on Celtic Motif. Let's go back to the 1, though. The Palace Girl for Will Walden.
I was just really impressed with the way this filly has been moving in her work. So when you go back to that December the 21st video where she worked there at Palm Meadows in 47-3, man, she was on the on the outside of Inspired Kiss, and she's just very nice mover as identified there by Maggie in paddock, but just in her works as well. And she just galloped away. Exactly what you would want to see from her. She's just got some size and scope. She's rangy. I think she gets every bit of this ground even more. She had great energy there when watching those videos, which we, of course, are access there on First TV. Nice to see them down in Florida, but I was just really impressed by her. I went between the 1 and the 6, obviously landed on the 6, but to me, one that also, I think, as Maggie also mentioned, just getting that experience in the North American side of things after running behind a winner like Giselle, who, by the way, is out of great Group 1 winner, newspaper of record. Those are the kinds of horses she was up against there in Europe in a massive field. So to me, I just think she fares beautifully in this spot, like what I've seen from her as well.
Blinkers on today for start number 3. We'll see if the break can go a little bit better. It has not been good either of the first 2 starts, especially that debut over at the Cura where she dwelt. 9-2 right now from the inside post. Edgar Zayas having a huge afternoon. Looks to add one more, but the 7-5 favorite. Celtic Motif, Chad Brown, Sammy Marin. Nightcap from Tampa on this Saturday card. Let's go to Jason Beam for the call.
Next in the Stuart Janney white and cherry hoop colors. Here's Reality Star coming up. Money Trail to gate 4. Great job on the drone shots by Zach and Tristan, our drone pilots. And spotter. Always FAA compliant here at Tampa Bay Downs. Here's Reality Star, still not quite in. Sammy Camacho for Shug McGahee to post 8. Queen Dancing is going to be the next to join along with Thames as soon as Reality Star goes in. Reality Star still not in. like they're going to open the front of the stall for Reality Star. Still trying to coax her forward, which they have just about done. And looks like Sammy's going to step off momentarily, and she loads in. So the final three going to be Tim's, Pop Art, and Black Darter will be all set for a start here. Today's 10th and final. Queen Dancing's gone in. Pop Art, the Glen Hill colors, and Black Darter to the outside. Big long shot at 90-1. Black Darter going in. They're in the gate. And the race is on. Miss Valentina sent for speed down toward the inside, was away well. Spinning class is right there. And up to the outside, Timms is also close up, and Timms is actually going to go up to take the early advantage. Miss Valentina going to try to hold that rail position as Pop Art moves up to the outside. Things got real tight there for Queen Dancing in the center. Had to tap on the brakes. So up front, it's Timms just in front of Pop Art. Those are going to be the top two. Vronti and Black Darter away third and fourth. Spinning class now back fifth to the inside. Celtic Motif, Kim's away mid-pack, sixth in the orange cap. It's a length and a half more than back to Miss Valentina, who's in a lineup of three, along with Reality Star. Queen Dancing between horses after that. Trouble is third last. The two at the back are Money Trail and the Palace Girls. So toward the back stretch, 23.61, the opening quarter mile. And it's long shot Timms in front of Pop Art, who's a tugging, willing second there on the outside. It's 2.5 more. Back to Vronti, who's third. Right to that one's outside Black Darter. Making some ground. Reality Star goes around the favorite Celtic Motif, who's back with Spinning Class. They race together in sixth and seventh. They're two clear of Queen Dancing. Miss Valentina still the two at the back. Money Trail and the Palace Girl. They're about 11 lengths front to back as they go to the far turn. 48.16 seconds was the opening half mile for Timms, who continues on. Timms by the 3/8 pole, in front by a length to Pop Art. Vronti, Reality Star coming with a 3-wide bid on the outside. Length and a half more than the Palace Girls made up big time ground. Celtic Motif got stopped in traffic. They're going to wheel toward the outside, but going to have to follow the move of the Palace Girl. So they come to the top of the stretch. Pop Art right up alongside of Timms to poke ahead in front. Down the far outside, the Palace Girl continues to uncoil. Celtic Motif also lengthening stride down the outside. The Palace Girl coming up after Pop Art. The Palace Girl grabs the lead. Pop Art tries to battle on. Celtic Motif down the outside. The Palace Girl to win it. Second was razor tight there between Celtic Motif and Pop Art. There we go.
The Palace Girl just kind of loped out of the gate, was last early, took the lead, but looked like she might give it up, able to hang on for the win and break her maiden career start number 3.
That late kick, that acceleration she has shown. Greg, I missed her racing. This was fun. Can we do some more? I know we're fixing to go off, but this was fun.
We have a little bit of time. We'll get there.
No, but it was impressive, of course, Celtic Motif, but unlucky there, closing with big stride there, but $2 million well spent, perhaps, for a talented runner in the number one.
Feature angle comes through. Let's go to Maggie with Will Walden.
Feature angle equals 100th winner of your career. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, just couldn't be happier to do it for Mr. Sykes. He's been such a massive part of my career. He's like a grandfather to me, and it's emotional. Like, I love the guy like a grandfather. He's such a good man, and just grateful to get it done with this filly for him.
And she still, I think, figuring things out, as we just said, but at least she got to run today and unleash that big stride.
Yeah, absolutely. First part of the race, I was a little concerned. She just kind of lost interest going into the first turn, and going into the far turn, Edgar started to pick off horses, and he was real wide, but when she switched leads, she kicked, and like you said, when she hit the front, she kind of hit the brakes a little bit. I think she's got a lot of learning to do. I think she's a true kind of 10, 11 furlong filly, and hopefully she's got a big future ahead.
Well done. Congratulations with her and on your 100th win. Big accomplishment.
Thank you, Maggie.
Guys.
It's got to feel awfully good to get that done. Big number, and Edgar Zayas, by the way, on board, his third win on the Saturday card.
Tremendous win there for a tremendous team. And again, kudos to the Will Walden barn at just every win, Matt, I think when you are in his position, it's every win just feels incredible, and he has just really worked so hard to build up this horse flesh, to be trusted with this kind. And she could be one we see further down the line as we approach some of these turf stakes, as we head to Saratoga, perhaps, as he mentioned, one that could appreciate more and more ground. She certainly looks like she should. So $2 million. I'm excited to see where she heads in the future.
And we have an objection involving your 4th place finisher. That is the 6 in here, Vronti. So we'll get back to that, let you know what that's involving after a timeout. 1-10, 7-6. It's the Palace Girl with the win for the Will Walden Barn. Edgar Zayas aboard for Woodford Thoroughbreds to close things out at Tampa. We'll be back. Back on our Saturday coverage, America's Day of the Races, and a first for NYRA and Fox taking its first ever Eclipse Award for live programming. Congratulations for the Belmont Stakes on Fox, and then also taking the award for Outstanding Feature with the story of the Mott family and dealing with the tragedy and the loss of Riley's daughter, Margot. Maggie, you were part of that broadcast, Belmont on Fox. Well done by you and the entire team.
Thank you, Greg. It means a lot. Well done to everyone that it's a part of these shows day in and day out. And I remember, obviously, we all remember the start of Belmont Day. It was a deluge, and they canceled the 2 turf races. And Bill Richards, who is our producer, slightly panicking because he said, "What do I do?" I said, "Don't you worry, Bill. We all know how to fill." And it turned out to be one of the best shows, and it just felt good when you came out of it. And that's all down to the team that was put together, and Tom Rinaldi and the producers that worked on that Mott feature. That had me in tears. So it's truly a touching piece, and I'm just over the moon for everyone involved in these Fox shows to take home the Eclipse Award. Greg?
Congratulations to you and everybody involved with that, everyone behind the scenes. Incredible work. And yeah, this story, if you've seen it, it got to you, no question, about how the Mott family dealt with the incredible adversity of Bill Mott's son, Riley, losing his daughter, Margot. An incredibly emotional time, but horses helping them through that time.
I was crying on my couch there watching this coverage. I hadn't yet joined the Fox team there here when I was watching that, and what a dream come true. I truly feel so blessed that just the friends and just to racing that Mike Mulvihill and everybody involved in creating those incredible pieces and just in creating the show. So it was just a dream realized, and also just the work that goes into it. And Maggie, Andy, everybody on this team and the work that you put in day in and day out, it shows. And it's a true honor just to be along for the ride. But truly incredible coverage. I remember, I will never forget watching this year's Belmont with my mom, as I said, on the couch, and just an incredible moment. So it was phenomenal coverage, and good job, guys.
Yeah, well deserved from the entire team. Of course, we're great to have you on board as well. Join this team. You've done terrific early on. We're looking forward to what's to come, but congratulations to everyone in Fox for their support of what we do and to bring that to everybody. We're so thankful. The Palace Girl, $12.60 for the victory to close out the card at Tampa Bay Downs. Pop Art, Celtic Motif, second and third, and there was no change, right? 110.76.
Don't believe there was a change.
No. Pick 6 over $1,400. Pick 5, $448. And a great day of racing. Maggie, well done at Tampa as usual. And, you know, those back-to-back stakes, Tessellate runs big again. For Saffie Joseph Jr., she was impressive, and Drexel Hill runs another big one in the Wayward Lass.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sometimes races play out as they might seem on paper, and it kind of felt like it did today. But, man, I just felt great to be back in New York, be with you guys, see you and Andy, of course, Greg, and I'm always happy to be up here at the Mecca.
We get you you're back tomorrow, right?
I'm back tomorrow with you,
and
but I'll be in the paddock, so we won't have this quality time, but it'll be great. Yep, back to Oakland.
We are back tomorrow. Coverage begins actually split tomorrow on 2 Eastern start time on FS2, and then kick off on FS1 from 3 to 5. So we hope you join us for our Sunday coverage on America's Day at the Races. Tessellate did not disappoint off that coming out party victory. She won by more than 13 lengths last time out. She goes back-to-back stakes victories for Saffie Joseph Jr. Drexel Hill in the Wayward Lass, just too good. Ben Curtis back aboard for Whit Beckman. She dominates. And at Aqueduct, it was Nina Kay, all those runner-ups, finally able to break through once again and get the second win of her career. We'll see you tomorrow.
New York breds. Race them.
Respect them.
Bet them.
Respect them.
Breed them.
Respect them.
Buy them.
Respect them.
Train them for a second career.
Respect them.
Join us in respecting thoroughbreds at every stage of life. Learn more at nybreds.com.
The thrills.
Speed King down the lane with a 3-length lead.
The drama.
Sandman trying to dive after him.
The triumph.
Speed King all the way.
It's all going down at the 2026 Southwest Stakes. This is the race where legends rise on the road to the Kentucky Derby and a $1 million purse up for grabs. The stakes are high and the competition is fierce. Don't miss out. Plan your stay today and come join the fun.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.